Oh! Oh, I'm giving away the goodies. I'm giving away the goodies. Oh. Two words, my friends. Chuck Norris. What else do I got to say? What else? What else do you need to say? I was inspired. Yesterday. It doesn't take much to inspire me. Like any average Looney Tunes episode will inspire me to do something, which I guess is a good thing, right? It's not a particularly bad thing. But I remember in the mid 2000s, right, when all these Chuck Norris jokes were coming out. My friends and I, we would go through them and just howl, right? As like so many people did. Just little howl. And then the last couple of days, and apparently there's a little revival going on the whole Chuck Norris, how tough is Chuck Norris? Now, I was a huge Chuck Norris fan because I was a kickboxer for a lot of years. I wore cowboy boots because Chuck Norris fought in cowboy boots. Like all of his movies. Like I think like he had his like little movie riders. Like, yeah, I get to fight in cowboy boots. Like Walker, Texas, what's a Ranger one? Like, right? I mean, Chuck the flippin' Norris. So I thought, you know what? Let's revive it. Why don't we revive it? Every Wednesday we do Chuck Norris Wednesdays. And we now I was undecided. Do we do 10 or 15? How tough is Chuck Norris? So I've met Chuck Norris a couple of times. I don't know if you guys know, when I went to Los Angeles 20 years ago, it was actually for an exercise machine called the Muscle Flex. Wesley Snipes and Chuck Norris they each had this machine. They were combining it. They wanted to take it public. I'd experience as a market maker on NASDAQ, NYSE, and they wanted a yada, yada, yada. And someone who has experience in business. So I said, I flew down to LA, took a look. I said, okay, I'll do it. So, Chuck, so I had a brush with Chuck Norris and Wesley Snipes. Unfortunately, I didn't get to meet Chuck too often, but his impact on your life is forever. But Chuck is not a conventional guy. He wouldn't pick 10. He wouldn't pick 15. So I did 12. 12. We're going to do 12. Every Wednesday is going to be 12. How tough is Chuck Norris? I think Chuck is over 100 years old, right? Erica, still about. No, he's 84, Erica. 84, 85. He's still working out. He still works the bag. He still goes on hikes. He's still like, pones the universe. I wouldn't want to fight him. I mean, I got 30 years on him. I still train. I don't think, I think he'd whoop my ass. He'd whoop my ass. So, yeah, Chuck Norris. So every Wednesday I'm going to do Chuck Norris. How tough is Chuck Norris? What the? Oh. I feel like a dog sometimes, It's like one little thing happens off to your left or right, and you're like, you're chasing, and like, off you go. I'm alive, Danny. You got to remember, Danny, I'm live. Little. I got to get that little Eric Cartman voice. Danny, you're live, Danny. That's just. And so today we're doing the main segment, guys, is 3i Atlas. So there is a new interview that our friend Avi Loeb, hey, man, names are tough. It's Eric. Oh yes, Eric. And Mia, man. I'm going to call you M.I. Avi Loeb is out there. My favorite guy. He's toned down the rhetoric in this interview. I haven't watched the full interview. Like a lot of the times when I throw an interview on, I like watching it cold as well, right? Because then you have to pay attention. It's not set up. It's real. It's there's nothing rehearsed about it when I'm stopping things and making a comment. And I love it. Like, I mean, I love it when people, I try and, you know, keep my eyes on the comments too. So when you guys make a comment, you know, participation is like, you know, I'm there. I think that's, you know, that's kind of like half the fun. Like, see what you guys say. Fuck. But Avi Loeb, so yeah, Avi Loeb, it's kind of a long interview. It's in the 20 minutes, 24 minutes. So, we'll see, we'll see how much we have to break in, and our friend Avi Loeb. And I put the thumbnail. So I don't do clickbait, right? And it's you know, I mean, it's sensationalism for the point of just being an ass, right? And it was it's a reference to Mars attacks, 3i Atlas attacks, ack. Yeah, it's every time Avi Loeb talks, all I hear is ack. I'm just not a believer in that BS. I don't think that is any way responsible. And he talks about how he doesn't want to be all of the other guys. They don't want to be on social media. The only guy that's on social media, the only guy is you, buddy. I mean, Brian Cox does interviews, and like, you know what he charges for an interview? Like $100,000 for an interview or a speaker, a keynote speaker. $100,000. Holy smokes! I should have been an astrophysicist. Why did I take English? You know what? I'm gonna have to laugh. I'm gonna have to laugh myself out of the room. Yep. You know, the British guys, when they're talking about science, you guys know what I mean, right? When they're talking about science, a British voice instantly grants you like 10 IQ points, something like that. What is it? 10, 12? Instantly. If I talk with a British accent, if I could perfect it and kind of be like a little bit more British, and I could say it in a way that makes sense, you know? I'd be like, man, this guy's really smart. He's a dog. But I released a new video today, on cryo sleep. It took me. The imagery was very. You try and get as much imagery as that you can. Like I've had the script done and the vocals done since like Saturday, and I don't want to use all movie scenes, right? I don't want the whole thing to be passengers, and I didn't even use any Avatar. Aliens has some good cryo stuff, and what was the other movie? There's one more movie, Aliens. Some of the I love the passenger ship, and it's interesting. That movie could have been so much better if it was done from the perspective of Jennifer Lawrence, where she wakes up. We don't know. Have you guys seen Passengers? Great sci-fi movie. Great concept. Freaking love it. But if it was from Jennifer Lawrence's perspective, and I think like this is the way I meant from as a screenwriter, because I'm a screenwriter. You think of it from her perspective, everything would have been a mystery. Why am I awake? And Chris Pratt's character would have just looked kind of creepy. We don't know the story. There's all this mystery. Why? When you start with the Chris Pratt from the beginning, it becomes kind of clunk, 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 Lego blocks. It's still a good story. It had a great rise right into the climax, but any passenger Arrivals too, right? I'm actually working on a video on Arrivals because I think that there is way more to that. People watched Arrivals on a Contact 2 as well, right? Carl Sagan. Give me a freaking applause for Carl Sagan. You say Carl Sagan, you just have to applaud. Like, that's Carl Sagan. Contact. You know what? I'm going to have to watch that movie again. Note to self. Yeah, that's Carl Sagan. Contact. Watch Contact. That's my weekend homework. Oh, and you know what I was going to watch this week too? And I haven't watched it. Troll. Have you guys seen the first Troll? It's a movie out of Norway. The first movie is pretty good. It's pretty good. And the second movie came out, and you know what? It's not bad. And I keep falling asleep, so I haven't seen the whole thing. I was going to do a Troll 1 and 2 review. I think I have to push it to next week. But it's Norway. I think it's Norway movie making, and it's really good. The first one is excellent. The second one is not as good, like always. I don't know what it is with the screenwriting. You got to maintain the characters. You got to maintain the quality of the conflict, internal, external conflicts. I don't know. It's still good. The special effects are. I mean, people are getting eaten by these 200-foot trolls and stuff. It's pretty. Eric. Is it true Avi is working on the dome defense over USA? Oh, Eric, don't say it. Is he? Avi Loeb is a dome. I don't know. No. What is he? He's the head of something at Harvard. Something I applied. I applied at Harvard. I haven't got any text messages back or anything yet, so I don't know. I figured, hey, you hired Avi. Why don't you hire Danny Alex? I mean, I could say stupid stuff all day. You gonna pay me to say stupid stuff? I'll get real dumb. I'll get double ass dumb on you if you want. So that's one. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Are you serious? Oh, so did Trump appoint him? Because I don't want to go down this road. He is Israeli American, right? He's an Israeli born guy. I mean, that's, I think I saw the picture of Trump on a leash, Netanyahu, and he's got Trump's on all fours, and he's got. Sometimes I don't want to get political. I don't. With the political, but I think that I don't know. What would he know about creating a dome? Like, is it military Avi now? I don't know. But guys, Merry Christmas. Can I say Merry Christmas to everyone? Even if you don't celebrate Christmas. Look, obviously I'm not religious, right? If you are religious and you believe in the 25th of December is Jesus Christ's birthday, you got to rethink that because it's impossible. It's impossible. That's the biggest pagan holiday ever in the history of humankind, the December 25th. But I do believe in Santa Claus. So here's the frickin' Santa Claus. Full applause. Yeah. Full applause, Santa Claus. I am going to do a Friday show this week, guys. It's on the schedule. I'm going to do a Friday show. Because right now, studio audience is going crazy. Let's pick door number 3. It is a week before Christmas. I got a lot of stuff I want to do. I feel, because right now I do Monday through Thursdays. I'm gonna do a Friday show. Friday feels kind of like fun, right? Because you can kind of like Friday is kind of fun day, right? You get that 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon feeling, and especially the weekend before Christmas. And look, I got no family. I have no family. I got no kids. I came here from Europe when I was 9 months old. It doesn't change my Christmas spirit. And I am going to be live on Christmas Day for 8 hours and Christmas Eve for 4 hours. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how many people are going to be online. But if you got nothing to do and you want to just shoot the poop with me, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. He is working on transportation vehicles to service the tech. Avi Loeb on transportation vehicles to service the tech. I'm without speech. I think that's I don't know what to say. Does he have experience in that? I don't know. I'll have to. I mean, Avi Loeb Dome News. Golden Dome for American emergence as U.S. brings homeland defense. 3 Atlas. That didn't bring anything. I believe you. I believe you. I believe you, Eric. I do. So, what the? So, okay. Can we do? Did I get everything we needed to do? All the Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris Wednesdays. So, oh, wait, I got the Chuck Norris. You see the Chuck Norris on there? I got Chuck on left. I got Chuck on right. One thing. I don't know if you guys ever took any of you took boxing or kickboxing or something out there. You know where you're. We had a lot of martial arts clubs come to the kickboxing club, and it never turned out very good, right? Because if you don't do full contact, if you don't do like full contact, and you're like getting punched in the head is never fun. I'm telling you, it's never fun. But if you don't go into the ring and take that full brutal contact, there is no way a martial artist will ever beat a boxer. One punch and a martial artist is down. Boom, baby. You throw, the other disciplines in there, like the, kickboxing. Now you're watching with, 4 limbs, and of course MMA. You're watching everything. But Chuck Norris fought in the ring, right? He was a contact fighter, and he was damn freaking good. Damn freaking good. So, Chuck, where do we got? Okay, you ready? Are you ready for some Chuck? 12 points, my friends. Where do we got to? Okay, do I do that? No. Oh, there we go. I just got to change a couple of things. Set this up. Full applause. Chuck Norris, my friends. Chuck Norris Wednesdays. And then after this, we're doing. Oh, there's one piece of news about a black hole. After, and then 3i Atlas. How? Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Like this is real fun shits and giggles. I realize that there are some younger people that hang out once in a while with us here, so I'm going to try and hold back on some of the swear words, at least till later in the show. Okay. All right. Okay. Mackie. So now I've got this set up in a way that I don't look. Is that about the right size? Yeah, it looks good. I'm going to go a little bit smaller. I'm going to move that over here. You know what? I need one more computer. If I had a computer on this side, I could then like be a little bit more. But I got a pretty good. I got a 34-inch screen, right? It's not bad. It's not bad. But guys, now you are talking to a guy who did meet Chuck Norris a couple of times. Okay. I did, because of the business project that we did with the Muscle Flex in Los Angeles, which is what brought me to Los Angeles. The man you're looking at in the center there with that face, he looks tough because he is freaking tough. That's because he is. He exists in a category of his own. Reality adjusts itself around him. Gravity hesitates. Is that even possible? That is like absolutely impossible, except, oh, come on. Don't, I gotta get it. Well, yeah, give me some media assets. Come on. Sorry. There we go. Now I'm set up. Did I misspelled something. Day TA rethinks its life choices. Yeah. Physics negotiates. Danger quietly rethinks its life. Toughness implies resistance. But Chuck Norris doesn't resist impact. Impact learns from Chuck Norris. Yeah. Yeah. How tough is Chuck Norris? Well, let's find out. Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He stares them down until he gets the information he wants. You can see the stare. Look at that. That is Chuck. When the boogeyman goes to sleep every night, he checks his closet for Chuck Norris. Okay. Awesome, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Chuck Norris doesn't worry about high gas prices. His vehicles run on fear. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, not bad. I mean, look at Chuck in the old. What is that? Is that it? Like, is that a Charger? Is that an old Charger? I think that's an old Charger, right? Google Slides. I get these from Google Slides. If you guys, where does he get these slides from? I do it on Google Slides, and I say, beautify my slide. And this is what Google Slides came up with. I mean, it's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. I like it. I was wondering how they were going to do this one. I didn't know. Chuck Norris won an arm wrestling tournament with both arms tied behind his back. I didn't know how AI was going to draw that. Well, they actually caught him cheating, but I guess because he breaks the laws of physics, it's hard. Maybe he's fourth dimensional, so you can't show the fourth dimension in the third dimension, right? Right? You've got that intrinsic. That could be it. Chuck is a fourth dimensional kind of guy. It's a good picture of Chuck, though, right? I mean, right, guys? Is that like Chuck? Like Waymos to service the space stations or oh, geez, don't say that, Eric. Chuck Norris went to a feminist rally and came back with his shirt ironed. At a sandwich. Oh, I don't got the comments on. I'm sorry. There we go. There the comments are on, so everyone can see. My apologies. I got so many things to remember. Silk, that's a good that's a good one. This next one. When Chuck Norris enters a room, he doesn't turn the lights on. He turns the dark off. You look, I do get the Chuck Norris thing. I do. I don't know if it's probably the basic hair, like it's like the dated hairdo and the beard, right? The dated hair. Like you hit an age and that's it. You don't change hairstyles. You don't. Did you see Diesel Brothers episode with Chuck Norris? I didn't. Jeez, you're gonna give me more homework, Eric? Like it's down, bro. I gotta remember that for the weekend. Yeah, this is good homework too, right? This is really good homework. Chuck Norris. I don't even know what number we're on. There is no theory of evolution. Just a list of creatures Chuck Norris allows to live. Look at Chuck on the throne. Google Slides. That's freaking awesome. That is so awesome. When Chuck Norris looks in a mirror, the mirror shatters. Because not even glasses dumb enough to get in between Chuck Norris and Chuck Norris. Yeah, you're damn right. Yep. Don't get in between Chuck Norris and Chuck Norris. Okay. The studio audience is pretty rowdy. Oh, this is good. This one's good. Guys, when Thanos snapped his finger, he disappeared. Chuck Norris doesn't like snapping. I love that one. I totally love that one. Yeah, all of these, right, Silk? These are they're all good. Okay, all right, okay, the laugh is good. The laugh, pause the laugh. Chuck Norris, before we get to 3-Eye Atlas, I mean, there's a lot I know people want 3-Eye Atlas, so do I. I'm waiting for Avi. Chuck Norris doesn't remember this in case someone with the wrong number calls you. Chuck Norris doesn't dial the wrong number. It was you who picked up the wrong phone. Look at the image. You see Chuck? You see Chuck on the phone? Stern, resolute. And then there's like that's me on the other side, realizing I'm screwed. That's a good looking Chuck Norris, right? Oh. The show Survivor had the original premise of putting people on an island with Chuck Norris. There were no survivors. That's good. I like that one. Chuck Norris plays Russian roulette with a fully loaded revolver. And wins. Yeah, he wins. I Easy. I guess he doesn't wear glasses, does he? I mean, I can take the glasses off. And I think we're on number 12. And we're doing 12 because I know Chuck. I've met him a couple times years ago. He does not like doing anything. If it's normal, he won't do it. So 10 or 15 felt normal. Chuck would do 12. Number 12, I think. The day Chuck Norris was born, he grabbed the keys and drove his mother home from the hospital. That is awesome. And as you can see Chuck Norris. He's got, his mom is like 80 years old. She gave birth at 80 years old. Chuck Norris Wednesdays. Next Wednesday, we're going to, I think that was 12, right? Yeah, that was 12. Next Wednesday, we're going to rinse and repeat with 12 more Chuck Norris. What do you call them? I guess Chuck Norris memes, right? They're just memes. I don't know if we called them memes back in the mid 2000s, right? I don't think we called them. No, we didn't call them memes. What did we call them? I don't know. It's just how tough is Chuck. I mean, one of my favorite ones was, well, Chuck Norris can lead a horse to water. And, well, no, you know what? There's no more. No, we'll got to save him until next Wednesday. That will be Christmas Eve. Holy cow. Guys, that's going to be Christmas Eve. 7 days from now is Christmas Eve. There's 3 regular season games left in the NFL. I don't know. The fourth quarter always goes so fast. So fast. He makes the red-headed accountant guy pass out with a choke hold. It was great. Oh, okay. That's the show. Okay. Oh, God. Well, are there people that aren't Chuck Norris fans? Bon mots. What's a bon mot? That's been around since before memes. Yeah. Hey, doggy! Doggy's in the house. You know what's great? I only started this. So this is episode 28. So theoretically, like it's only like, I mean, I think beginning of November I started this. But every time I see names that are familiar to me, it's cool. Woof, woof. No, it's cool. You never know. Like here's the thing when you do this stuff, you actually put in quite a bit of cash to get all the equipment and everything, and you don't know if anything's going to take off. This is freaking YouTube. It's about as I mean, especially the way YouTube has been going. Have you seen the last 3 videos from Mr. Beast, guys? The last 3 videos from Mr. Beast, less than 90 million. And I've been watching them because I love statistics, right? I love math and statistics. You learn so much. Statistically, you can learn so much from the world if you just pay attention to math, right? None of his videos are like they've been at less than 90 million, which obviously that's a good number. But when you're used to 300 to 500 million, this is not good, right? And if you've got this structure of business, of people, of organization that relies on, let's say, at least 200 million views break even. Did you see that utter disaster? Who did the, I think Moist Critical did it on the video game. I forgot what the video game was. They spent a ton of money with Mr. Beast. He promoted the game. They were expecting like 100,000 regular users and like a few hundred showed up. What was the game's name? I just watched the video last week. I think it was Moist Critical. I think Moist Critical had the thing on. And I think that Asmongold jumps on. It talks about it with doing Moist Critical. It's like, really? How does that Asmongold's faces? I can't do them. But anyway, it is funny. Mr. Beast videos suck and are 10-year-olds. Yeah. You know what? The thing about Mr. Beast, if you analyze, you think, well, why is he popular? What he did, how he started, how his boom moment was, he gave $10,000 away. Right? He gave $10,000. He realized it turned into like 1 million views. Then he gave more money away. He's a game show host. That's all he does. It gets old very quickly. And if he's not giving away money or having prizes for money, he's doing $1, $1,000,000. It's the same. It's old, repetitious. And I think what people are looking, I'm not really sure what people are looking for on YouTube. I just figured I love science, but no one's doing science in kind of a witty way. I'm a screenwriter, so obviously I'm going to do sci-fi, fantasy, TV shows, movies. Keep science fun, keep it casual, go into a little bit of news, and the political stuff. I don't want the political stuff, right? Games philanthropy. He does all the philanthropy. Sometimes I question whether his philanthropy is reason number one for him and reason number two to help. He gives money away. So that by itself is a good thing. Yeah, give away less money than you take in. Yeah, it's a good giveaway. Giving away less money than you take in is a very good business strategy. It's a very good, Moist Critical is good. Moist Critical is ultimately I still don't understand the appeal 100% because you try and understand why some people gravitate in one direction and why not. And it's reasons that you can't explain. He's good at putting together his thoughts quickly and in a way that I think people are obviously they're interested to listen to what he says. Bo, for a phenomenon that is supposed to be purely natural, the precision of the pulse is striking, and it is here that the theory involving Jupiter's moon Callisto enters the frame. Jesus, is that a subject change? I love Callisto. Callisto is one of my favorite moons. As a matter of fact, I did a video on Jupiter about the clouds, and you go down through the clouds because it has like a liquid. What is it? Liquid hydrogen core. Like there's some crazy stuff going on in the core of Jupiter, but Jupiter's moons. Yeah, I mean, they're like even Saturn, right? Some of the moons are absolutely phenomenal. So many fake philanthropists. Yeah. But if they are giving the money away, I guess it's better. I guess it's better for good stuff to happen for the wrong reasons, for good stuff not to happen for any reason, I guess, right? I like the channel. Hey, hey, doggy, I like the channel. I hope it hopefully grows. Thank you very much. I enjoy doing what I do, this YouTube thing, because I think I have something different to offer. Honestly, I mean, but I can give away $10. I am one. Yeah, I happily give whatever I can. I'll tell you what, guys, I will be honest with you. I think this one thing, this is a good example. The Streamer Awards were out there, which were absolutely a joke. If I got nominated for a Streamer Award, like I'll show up. So they go and they do, their one charity is for, and this is fine, for women, homeless women, and that is fine. It's a great charity. But you know who gets no charity? Homeless men. As far as I can remember, I'm like, why are there no homeless men charities? There is so many places. I mean, if women have children, you know what? You got to get that help to them immediately. If men have children, you need to get that help to them immediately. I think if I had the means to do something, I would be out there helping homeless men because the support systems are non-existent. That's my thing. I think it's like, look, there's lots of charities for a lot of things. I don't see many helping homeless men. Men get, we're all fallible. We all life all kicks us right in the old, schnazzers sometimes. We all need a hand up sometimes. Almost all of us. I've had to a couple of times in my life. And anyway, that's an aside. I thought it will come closest to Venus on its way out of the solar system. Thank you, A Doggy. I thought it will come closest to Venus on its way out of the solar system. It's a 3i Atlas, Eric? We are getting to 3i. Are you guys ready for 3i Atlas? Oh, yo, black hole. You know what? I'm going to quickly do this black hole thing because it is pretty amazing. And this just came in this afternoon. I'm going to remove Chuck. I'm going to add James. There it is, right there. Share that, please, please. Yes. Oops. There we go. Like this. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm moving screens on my page. This goes over here. This goes over here, and then I share that. And why isn't it there? Oh, add to stage. There we go. So there we go. This just came in. If you look, published 1 hour ago. Do you guys see that at the top? Oh, I gotta change. Sorry. There we go. There we go. This came in 1 hour ago. So I'm sitting there. I was actually doing, I think, the thumbnail, and I get this dong. Like James Webb Telescope. James Webb Telescope confirms first runaway supermassive black hole rocketing through cosmic owl galaxies at 2.2 million miles per hour. It boggles the mind. Now, a 2.2 mil, so it's this. Well, actually, let me read this. The forces that are needed to dislodge such a massive black hole from its home are enormous. This is a massive black hole. And the first of its kind, right? The first picture of its kind. Astronomers have made a truly mind-boggling discovery using the James Webb Space Telescope. A runaway black hole 10 million times larger than our sun, so it's 10 million solar masses, rocketing through space at a staggering 2.2 million miles per hour, 1,000 kilometers per second. Per second. That not only makes this the first confirmed runaway supermassive black hole, but this object is also one of the fastest moving bodies ever detected that has mass, right? Obviously, we don't need to, everything, if it doesn't have mass, it goes the speed of light. Rocketing through its home, a pair of galaxies named the Cosmic Owl at 3,000 times the speed of sound at sea level here on Earth. If that isn't astounding enough, the black hole is pushing forward a literal galaxy-sized bow shock of matter in front of it that's simultaneously dragging a 200,000 light year long tail behind it, within which gas is accumulating and triggering star formation. So it's like going, like you can imagine the forces of gravity that this thing is moving through the gravity. You can imagine how many solar systems that is disrupting. And if it was close to anywhere close to our solar system, we're done for, right? We're done for. Reed Richards would have to teleport Earth. He'd have to teleport Earth somewhere else, calling Reed Richards. It boggles the mind. Discovery team leader Pieter van Dokkum of Yale University told Space.com, the forces that are needed to dislodge such a massive black hole from its home are enormous, and yet it was predicted that such escapes should occur. I guess, are they suggesting that it escaped from the center of its galaxy? I think that's what they're, I mean, that is ridiculous. I don't think this has anything to do with it. Supermassive black holes, which can reach masses billions of times that of the sun, are usually found at the hearts of their home galaxies, which they dominate with their immense gravity. The incredible speed of this supermassive black hole means it is around 230,000 light years from its point of origin. That's 2 Milky Way galaxies. So it has traveled 230,000 light years from its point of origin. Guys, the universe is mind-boggling. This is like, So how big is 10 million solar masses? I'm glad you asked. A 10 million solar mass black hole, because this is stuff we care about, right? How big is this mofo? Has an event horizon diameter of roughly 60. This is a diameter, right? Diameter, twice the radius. Of roughly 60 million kilometers or 37 million miles, which is approximately 40 times the diameter of our sun. It would reach Mercury, right? Scaling linearly from one solar mass back to whole. Is there anything else? Scaling the diameter of a non-rotating Schwarzschild black hole is directly proportional to its mass. Got it. So anyway, I just thought that was this is the only black. Yeah, we'll finish with this paragraph. This is the only black hole that has been found far away from its former home or its place of origin. That made it its best candidate for a runaway supermassive black hole. But what was missing was confirmation. All we really had was a streak that was difficult to explain in any other way. With the James Webb Telescope is absolutely phenomenal. The discoveries the James Webb is making every day. I mean, there's every day I get these space.com. Okay, well, I don't know if that's exciting enough. I don't know if that's exciting enough. Yada yada yada. It's exciting enough to kind of like, oh, let me read that. But with the JWST, we have now confirmed that there is indeed a black hole at the tip of the streak, and that it is speeding away from its former host. You know, one of my most favorite TV shows was on the Science Channel, How the Universe Works. I don't know if you guys used to watch that. I watched every episode 5 times at least. And there was one episode of a black hole that they showed streaking out and all this massive mass that follows it as it streaks away. But that is interesting. That is totally awesome. So yeah, that. James Webb Telescope. There's one more. I'll save this for tomorrow. The other one. There's some. That was an hour ago. Like literally. Can we get to 3i Atlas? 3i Atlas. All right. Yeah. So Avi Loeb did a new interview yesterday. Avi Loeb. You know, I don't know what. Avi Loeb. Doggy, it is amazing. Most likely the black hole is using propulsion. It is. It's an alien craft and is being intelligently controlled. It is. Vince, Trump. So I'm guessing that you might be a Trump supporter. I mean, that's cool. Hey, look, there's things Trump does. I'm not opposed to. Some things that I am opposed to. Oh, I got to fix this now here. Every time I change, I got to remember to change the, there we go. I think like any president, you know, you like some stuff, you know, like I hate it a lot more than what Biden did. Biden was an economy crusher. Look, I was an economic analyst. When you flood the system with, the only thing that really ever causes inflation is printing money. They printed $8 trillion during the Biden administration. Reckless. Frickin' reckless. And that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, I got something. I got something from, don't I?
Stupid as stupid does, sir.
Yeah, stupid as stupid does, sir. So Avi Loeb
told me I'm going to call you Avi, and I hope that isn't.
Hold on here. Okay, where am I going? Yeah. Oh, I hopefully what I want StreamYard to do is one-click setup so that you hit one button, the whole thing. So you got this setup with this setup and this setup instead of having to go and click everything. So I wonder if this is. Oh, yeah, I'm playing it from. There we go. So this is the latest interview with Avi Loeb. And it is what is it? Queen something news. This is the chief transportation. And there's Avi on there. You notice Avi, he's always smiling because he loves, he's getting attention, and this is what he loves. But he really is, well, you listen to this. I listened to a little bit. I've only listened to about 3 or 5 minutes. Look, there's a lot of people that were friends with Epstein. A lot of people. She looks like a Muppets character too. Yeah. I'm not gonna, she's working and she's trying. I know. I know. Let's do this.
So you told me I'm going to call you Avi, and I hope that isn't too casual. You are seen as a visionary leader to your supporters, and to your critics, you are known as a sensationalist, polarizing for sure, but an undeniably significant figure in science. So, Avi, who are you? What do you consider yourself to be?
I consider myself to express what sounds to me like common sense. And, I was born on a farm, pretty much grounded in nature. And I don't really care much about what people say, because very often they say the wrong things. And if you subscribe to social media and pay too much attention to the likes that you get.
It's funny because this is the scientist, that is literally pasted all over social media. All over.
You are growing probably in the wrong direction. And we've known that from history. And as a scientist, I have the privilege of attending to evidence. And when something looks strange, I would like to discuss it, point it out, because...
But what something looks... I'm a scientist and I like to work off of evidence, or however he said it. But then when something looks strange, just because something looks strange doesn't mean it's evidence. And you go out and start discussing and saying that, it's he's been adamant that there is such a huge chance that this thing is alien tech, that it could be an alien mothership. Like, how many things has he said? I did a show on the top 18 things that he has said verbatim. I should do it again. I should do a repeat. But he is, scientific?
Because that's the only way by which we might recognize that among the rocks that enter the solar system, there might be a tennis ball that was thrown by a neighbor. And that would be the most important revelation to humanity ever. Because we might realize that we are not at the top of the food chain within the Milky Way galaxy. And if there is someone more accomplished than we are, perhaps it will inspire us to do better. Because right now we focus on a very small rock that makes maybe 3 millionths of the mass of the sun. That's Earth. But there is much more real estate far out. There are 100 billion stars just in the Milky Way galaxy.
This is what I don't understand. So just like I'm sure you guys have heard estimates, 400 billion, 100 billion. I want someone to give a little bit of a definitive more answer. Like that's a 400% difference. Or 300% difference, right? 300% difference. Ooh. Eyes almost look dumb there. But I don't. Yeah,
and there are about 1 trillion galaxies in the observable volume of the universe, and many more beyond what we can see. And so there is a sense of cosmic modesty that we lack, because most of the stars formed billions of years before the sun, and it's very likely that there were more accomplished space entrepreneurs than Elon Musk since the Big Bang.
Why bring Elon Musk into it? Like, why are you being a dick to Elon, right? I mean that was a little bit of a slight to Elon, right? There's got to be someone better than Elon Musk. Well, he's doing stuff. He's putting his mouth where his words where his mouth is, or his mouth where his words is. Either way, you're just yakking. That's all you're doing. You're just yakking. This is the stuff that grinds me with this man.
Wow. I was going to ask you, because there's so much criticism, and I love your open mind, and we need people like you, and we're so grateful for your expertise. You kind of said you don't care, so you probably already answered it, but how do you deal with the criticism? Media? Because I know you take a lot of it. People think, look, it's just a comment.
Yeah, well, what they do is basically behave like artificial intelligence systems. And those AI systems that we often use are as good as their training data set. And so most of these experts or self-declared experts are relying on icy rocks, the type of...
Self-declared experts? I mean, who are you talking about? I mean, he did this whole interview where he threw Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson under the bus. Like, he just ripped them for what? I mean, I didn't hear Brian or Neil say anything negative about you. Who are you angry at, Avi? Like, he's always ripping on somebody. If you're gonna go out there and make these extraordinary claims, require extraordinary evidence, Avi. If you don't have the extraordinary evidence, because everything you discuss is explained away easily, like they have now, it's confirmed that 3i Atlas has cryovolcanoes. Like, this is a big piece of rock and ice. Cryovolcanoes.
Things that they were studying for decades. But the point is, we know there are things beyond that because we launched technological equipment to space. And I'm just saying, please include that in your training data set. That's not such an exaggerated request, because we know that near Earth are plenty of objects that humanity launched. And in fact, there is some confusion about that. Those comet experts, they cataloged the near-Earth asteroid, an object that came close to Earth on January 2nd, and then realized within a day, the Minor Planet Center, the official body that is cataloging these, announced that, sorry, this one is actually following the path of the Tesla Roadster car that was launched by SpaceX in 2018. And therefore, it's not a rock, as we thought. It's actually a car. And the only reason they...
What? What did I was listening. Did I miss something? It started with comets and it turned into a car, and
realize that is because we know what humanity launched. But if someone else far out in another near another star launched another type of spacecraft, we would not be aware of the trajectory that is supposed to take, and therefore we would, if we are subscribing just to the notion that there are space rocks out there, we would say it's a comet or an asteroid. And that's a mistake that is easy to make if you have very limited data. Even if you see...
Well, if you have limited data, if you're acknowledging limited data, the acknowledgement of limited data suggests by default your assertions that it's alien tech makes it more dumber than you first. I mean, it's none of this makes sense in terms of trying to suggest or tell other scientists that they should be out there. It's aliens. It could be aliens. The aliens are going to attack. Ack. He just there, like, it's, I could just imagine how many rocks, alien rocks that we have missed over the years, right? Because we're only developing the technology now to actually find these things. For all we know, there could be 5 of these things coming in per year that we just have never been able to see. And if you are an advanced alien, you're not going to send a 20-mile mothership. Holy cow. You will send nanobots. I've said this so many times. Technology goes nano. You'll send 1 million little tiny nanobots. Let's go check out that Earth planet. But there's certainly no evidence. But he is softening his tone a little bit. What he says makes no sense half the time.
Gas and dust around an object, it doesn't mean that it's a natural object, because you don't judge a book by its cover. It may be just the skin of the object that collected ice and dust along its journey, right, and has nothing to do with the interior.
Okay, let's just talk about 3i Atlas. So the third object, possibly a comet, whatever, to enter our solar systems, in our cosmic neighborhood now. So it's supposed to be closest.
And I think that's phrased wrong. It's not the third alien comet to enter it's the third one that we found. There's probably thousands, like, you know, what's the time frame? Millions, billions. There's probably stuff coming in on our solar plane, on different angles that we just don't see. Like, you've seen the pictures, they're tiny. And 3i Atlas is a big piece of rock. And we don't get great pictures of this thing. But
to Earth on December 19th. Anything new that we know about it? Now, people like NASA says, the officials at NASA say, oh, we believe it's a comet. But perhaps it is not a comet. Perhaps it's an alien technology disguised as a comet.
yes. Yeah, that's what it is.
What new information do we have about this that you can share with us today as we approach the perigee to Earth? And please let people know that it's going to be very far away from Earth, like 170 million miles away. We don't have a problem or anything to be scared about, or do we?
No, we don't, because, I mean, we tend to think that even if there is a visitor to the solar system, it will probably just focus on us. It's not at all clear, because the human species existed only over the past few million years. That's a tenth of a...
That is not true. The human species has existed for the last few million years. That's not even true. Not even close. We haven't even been around for a million years. Like, arguably 200,000 years? 250,000 years?
percent of the age of the Earth, and not to speak about the ages of other stars. And a journey takes about 1 billion years throughout the Milky Way galaxy. So whoever sent equipment in our direction didn't have us in mind. And it's sort of like arriving late to a party and thinking that
it's galactic Santa Claus.
Someone was waiting to dance with you. I mean, that is a ridiculous notion. And so my point is,
galactic
we should
Claus.
not assume anything, but just observe it. And based on the information that we get about our dating partner, we can decide whether, what its nature is. And that's the usual practice in blind dates. You don't know in advance who the dating partner is, and the best way to find out is not to speak and express an opinion ahead.
He's the one that spoke and expressed an opinion. No one else did. Nobody else but him. Nobody except him. I love the analogy. Like we're dancing with 3i Atlas. Like it's a little... Oh, you dance like a comet. That's your analogy? I thought you were smart.
Of time, but just collect as much data as possible. Because in this case, there are also, if it happens to be alien technology, there is obviously a threat to Earth. And we would like to know that, even if the chances are small. And it's sort of a black swan event that we need to protect ourselves against. And in the coming decade, we'll have many more interstellar objects. And my recommendation is to rank each and every one of them from 0 to 10. There is this classification scale that I came up with called the Loeb scale, where 0 is a natural object, 10 is a technological object. And we need to decide,
Avi said 4, right? He called 3i Atlas a 4, right?
What each object might be. Those are objects to be discovered by the Rubin Observatory in Chile. Now, with respect to this one, what we learned recently is, at first, the reason I suspected it might be technological is because its trajectory is aligned with the planets in moving around the sun. And
that's really like, could you imagine? Did you just hear that? It's on a 5 degrees off the trajectory, right? I believe, if my memory is correct. And that is your evidence for suggesting that it's alien tech. I mean, basically, if you look at the Milky Way, it's flat. Each star has its own kind of, angle, but for the most part, it's flat, right? Things, kind of, and now on a 5-degree angle, I know that there was something with that degree and telescopes and being able, now the James Webb telescope, I think, is specifically acute to 5 degree or less or something like that trajectory alien comets that come in, which is why we're now seeing these things. But if that is your evidence that because it came in at a certain angle, holy gee, like but ack.
The chance of that happening at random is 1 in 500. And what we are seeing now is that indeed
Zach, I would love that.
anti-tail that it had from the beginning, which is a jet coming from the object towards the sun. It seems to persist. Even now, we have a second image from the Hubble Space Telescope that indicates a jet coming from the object towards the sun and not away from the sun, the way.
Now that has been literally, you can, that's just been explained away as because of the cryovolcanoes, massive bursts, right? There's so much heat hitting this thing as it went around the sun. Massive cryovolcanoes on this thing. And as it spurts out going in every direction, that's, it's not surprising. It's not like an anomaly that you kill. Oh my God, like it's.
Cometary tails behave. That's an anomaly. We need to explain that, to understand that. In fact, as of this morning, there was a report about the jet wobbling, as if it's sort of like the light beam from a lighthouse that is wobbling. And we need to understand why this happens. This anti-tail extends to 1 million kilometers. We've never seen anything like it for any comet.
Okay, Avi, this is...
You know what, actually, I just keep
fascinating.
going.
We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back on We're Not Alone continues. Stay where you are.
We got advertising? Oh,
Welcome back, everyone, to this very special edition of We Are Not Alone.
We're back.
Dr. Avi Loeb is joining us, Harvard astronomer, talking to us about 3I Atlas. Is it a comet? Or is it something else? So fascinating discussion. Avi, these anomalies that you have talked about, surely NASA is aware of these. And I did watch the NASA press conference a couple weeks ago where they said, we believe it's a comet, it's a comet. If they knew it wasn't a comet or suspected it wasn't a comet, would they tell us?
Yeah, I think so. I think NASA is a bureaucratic body, and the press conference they had was handled by officials, which I would think is not the best approach to disclosing interesting information. You want the scientists who work on analyzing the data from the Webb telescope, from the Hubble telescope, from other NASA assets. But we didn't see those at the press conference. And frankly, the officials just released fuzzy images that were not particularly exciting. So it was a disappointment for the public.
I think the idea, to assert or suggest that the people and the scientists at NASA, and there's hundreds, probably thousands of them, don't have any cred. They got no street cred. There's a whole bunch of sloppy ass. What are they, Avi? Like these scientists at NASA. They're just all dumb bureaucrats. None of them have a passion for science and astronomy. None of them. They go out and they put their information out because they don't give a damn. Because they're weekend astronomers? NASA scientists are astrophysicists. These are people, like when you see these people, like when you wait, like the New Horizons, when that New Horizons hit Pluto, these NASA scientists that have been, they were crying. These people are freaking passionate about what they do at NASA. Right? You get into astronomy, you get into science, you get into astrophysics. You do it for the love of it. That really is science, because science is the only superpower this world has. And you get into science, and when you get a job at NASA, I think these people you get so excited, like you're working at the one place that you probably always wanted to work. So the idea that the scientists at NASA are Avi just always usurps himself above them all. You guys are just doing dumb stuff. And I'm here putting you guys... Avi? You're a dumbass.
And at the same time, we had some images from amateur astronomers that were far more informative about the many jets coming out of 3I Atlas. So I don't think NASA would purposely hide information, but I do think that their heart is not in the right place, which is let's focus on the science, admit what we don't know. And they didn't really.
They didn't admit what they don't know. But Avi knows. He just wants someone to say, yes, it's alien tech, okay? Now shut the F up, okay? What do you want? Yeah, you're off. Yes, a comment. This is too much. It's fun. It's fun. It's just a rock, people. Thomas. I blame Harvard at this point, says Doggy. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm applying at Harvard. I'm head of astronomy. I'm going to be the head mouthpiece. You guys at Harvard got a head mouthpiece? Because I'll be the head mouthpiece.
Discuss any of the anomalies that I mentioned. There is another anomaly that is this object is shedding mostly nickel with very little iron. And the only place where we find that is in industrially produced nickel alloys. Usually all astronomical objects have comparable levels of nickel and iron. And that is a surprise and perhaps related to some technological makeup of the object. So they should have discussed those things that we don't fully understand, like the anti-tail, the nickel versus iron, the fact that the object lies in the plane of the planets around the sun. And, they could have said, look, these are not explained. They may be just rare properties of an object that we are lucky to find in our backyard. But they should have admitted what we don't know and what we don't.
What does that even mean? Admitted what you don't know. Admitted you want? Who do you want to say it's an alien spacecraft? Is that all you want? Like, what are you asking for? And he'll never give a straight answer, Regina Jackson. Been here since they were kicked out of heaven. The aliens are the fallen ones from Niflheim, the giants, the Jotun. You're talking about the Jotun? Man, I love me Norse mythos, man. I wrote an entire TV series. My most winning screenplay is my screenplay about North mythos. So don't be deceived. They didn't create us. Only God. Well, thank God. Thank God. Thank God created me. Thank God. He's a best friend. It is BS, but it's good entertainment, my friend. Hubris is bliss. It is.
Because that's the truth. Science is
Loeb.
work in progress. And the only reason we want science to be funded is in order to find answers to questions that are mysterious, like, are we alone? And you can't excite the public by tampering down the most interesting anomalies and saying it's a comet and basically telling the public what the public should believe.
Yeah, and if you can, I hate to say dumb it down, but just make it simple for us.
Oh, he can do that. He can do that.
How is this moving on its own? What trajectory does it take? Is it anti-gravitational? Does it have its own jets? And
how is it moving on its own? Like, this is the problem. When science, astronomy, dumb people are asking the questions, it's like, remember Katy Perry? Is like math related to science?
Yeah.
Where is it now, and what are the possible consequences if it is alien technology?
Well, the object did not maneuver significantly as of yet. It follows gravity, mostly gravity. There is an indication, a clear detection by many standard deviations, a very clear detection of non-gravitational acceleration, where the trajectory, the path of the object is slightly modified by some additional force other than gravity. And
we know that to be the jets, right? The cryovolcanoes, all this stuff that is shooting out of the comet. It's going to create, it's going to create changes as it goes around the sun. Why is this? I don't even know why this is an issue. It is really shocking to me that someone at the level of Avi Loeb, and it's right, he's been doing this for a long time. He looked pretty dumb with Oumuamua. I think he looks even dumber with this one. And there's going to be another one very soon. We're finding these things left, right, and center. There'll be another one very soon.
That could be the result of the object losing mass, because it's just like a jet plane or a rocket that is recoiling as a result of shedding mass in the opposite direction. That's what propels rockets.
I think he just used science
Now,
there.
we don't know if that is a result, this mass loss is a result of natural process of pockets of ice on the surface of a rock that get sublimated, that get evaporated by sunlight, or it could be thrusters in a technological device. We don't know the actual reason, and one way to figure it out is, of course, to in the coming days to observe those jets that are seen coming from 3I Atlas. The most prominent right now is this anti-tail that is going towards the sun, very unusually for.
But they could prove that in two ways: as an illusion based on the refraction of light, where it's coming from, and of course all of the massive cryovolcanoes that are bursting from this thing in multiple directions. There's nothing crazy going on 3I Atlas except for the creation of all this clickbait stuff. And I don't know what Avi wants. What do you want? Do you want Brian Cox to come out and say, look, it's an alien spaceship? What do you want?
Comet, if it is natural. But if we measure the speed of the gas in that anti-tail in the jet, and we infer the composition of that jet, we could figure out if it's the sublimation of ice that propels it, that launches it, or maybe something technological, because for chemical propulsion in rockets, we usually get speeds that are an order of magnitude larger than you expect from pockets of ice warmed by sunshine. And for ion thrusters, we get 100 times faster exhaust speed. So just by...
Yeah, I think it's probably ion thrusters. You guys think? He wants Brian Cox. Well, yeah, he's Mossad. He might be Mossad. Epstein was Mossad. It's ion thrusters. I think it is ion thrusters. Fusion, could be fusion thrusters.
Observing these jets, I think we can pretty much learn about what the nature of the object is.
Yeah, because that was my next question. People say to me, well, who cares? It's a comet, it's a what, who cares?
Well, we definitely care about that, because if there is a visit by alien technology to the inner solar system, we don't know if we're dealing with a friendly visitor or...
You know what? And this is the damage. This is the damage that Avi Loeb does. We have a visitor, an alien comet that has flown billions of years across our galaxy. This thing is a relic from another solar system, another star system that has come to us to visit. We can't even enjoy the fact that we have an alien comet from another solar system. We need to get into a tit for tat argument whether it's an alien spaceship or not. That's the ridiculousness of this whole thing. And yeah, in the thumbnail I put 3I Atlas attacks. At the stupidity of all this. It's Mars attacks. It's 3I Atlas attacks. It's Avi Loeb and his dumb. We can't even enjoy the amazing visitor. Everything is, the energy in the room is sucked up by this guy so that we cannot even have scientists, NASA, ESA from all over the world, backyard scientists discussing the brilliance of this object that has been billions of years old. Like, this is phenomenal. It's relegated to a discussion of whether it's alien tech or not. What do you want, Avi? Do you want everyone to say, okay, there's an X% chance it's aliens? Now, would you shut the frick up, right? He's clearly just giving you a different possibility, which you agree that is possible, but he's clearly not saying there is an alien, bro. He is saying that he constantly goes back to the alien topic. He constantly goes back. You don't have to say it's an alien 100%. Those are all his talking points. Champ, I get what you're saying. He's not saying it's 10 for 10, but this is all that he talks about. Fun fact for the family: many victims who survived bear attacks report the sound of the bear's teeth scraping against their skulls. Well, I mean, I'll remember that. The ridiculous of the whole thing is we have let the most stupid control our future bankers and politicians. Be back-tarring, feathering. Let's all get in the stupid room. There's a lot of room in the stupid room. There's a lot of room. Avi Loeb is an idiot. Harry Potter. Oh, Prater. Damn, I thought it was Harry Potter was here. Avi Loeb is could go. Is there room in the stupid room for Avi Loeb? My point is, there's no room for look. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Just because he even said himself, he decided that there's a big chance that this thing is alien tech just because of the angle that it came in on. Are you kidding me? So I don't want to bring it to religion, but the idea, the level of evidence that he is asking for is basically no better than religion. It requires a stretch of faith to believe that this thing is alien tech until it gives absolute evidence that there's anything. It is following a trajectory that is consistent with a comet. 100% consistent.
With a serial killer, case they decide to visit Earth. And that would suggest a whole plan associated with planetary defense. Right now, we're thinking only about rocks that by chance happen to impact the Earth, like the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. But in principle, if you have a technology...
Was that aliens? Maybe that was aliens. Did we check for a ship at the bottom of the Gulf of America?
Technological device, it may maneuver and might have an intent for the visit that is much more difficult to protect against. And there would need to be a significant amount of money, maybe a significant fraction of the military budgets worldwide allocated to planetary defense. And by that, I mean $1 trillion a year, because right now we're spending
planetary defense. We're going to put lasers in space. We're doing like experiments with rats up there. Like our space tech ain't that good. We don't build anything in space. We don't do anything in space. We build it on our planet and then we launch it. We're not building the USS Enterprise anytime soon. Did someone told Avi that Star Trek is just a TV show?
$0.4 trillion a year on military budgets worldwide. So with $1 trillion a year, it will be a big deal. You can't just say, who cares? If we decide that there is a potential threat to Earth from alien technology, it would become one of the major items in the news. And it's not just the conflicts on territories on this rock, which, if you think about it, is very narrow-minded for us to just imagine this being the most important item in the universe. In fact, there is much more real estate out there that we should worry about.
Avi, let me ask you, you know so much about this. Have you had any threats to shut up?
Not at all.
No.
I mean, I've told him to shut up a couple of times, just in jest. Avi, shut up. Shut up.
No.
I have, I should say, about 5 million readers of my essays on medium.com every month.
There you go, right there. 5 million readers. This is about money. Do you know how much money Avi Loeb is making? Do you have any idea how much he's making? I don't know what his fee is for an interview, but it's a lot more than I get. He is getting a lot of attention. He is making a lot of money. A lot of money. Because the people that do not understand basic... Now, there's a guy, Planet 12, just curious how you explain... you're talking about Borisov, right? You're talking about Dwight Borisov, the one before 3i Atlas. It sped up and it slowed down. Well, no, that come on. The one thing, no one really came out and was insinuating that Borisov was an alien thing. Avi Loeb walked away with his tail between his legs, looking really stupid with Oumuamua. There was one picture of Oumuamua. It was a little tiny dot. It was like the pale blue dot picture of Voyager taking a picture of Earth. A tiny little white dot on a black background. That was the only image we had of Oumuamua. Everything else was artist rendered. Everything. And we're not sure if Oumuamua was a long cigar, or if it was actually broken up and it was like 10 to 15 pieces of rock that was actually, stuck together loosely by its own gravity. We don't know that. But Avi Loeb walked away with his tail between his legs, looking like a dumbass with Oumuamua. Sounds great. Borisov, I think there's very little. I mean, so I like there was nothing that was an anomaly with Borisov. There really wasn't. Oi 6271. Did you hear about how 1/3 of galaxies spin counterclockwise and 2/3 clockwise? I did. Yes. Yeah, I know something about that. They're behaving like quarks now. I got to look into that. Planet 12 is coming back around. It would make sense for them to send probes that look like comets. What? Planet? You serious?
In recent months, and there will be a Netflix documentary about my work, and people who know me, that will come out in 2026.
Do I need to say more? Now he's got a Netflix documentary. How much was he paid for that? How much was he paid for that? How much money is Brian Cox or Brian Greene making not saying anything about it? How much money would Brian Cox make if he was out there doing what this guy's doing? He could probably have $50,000 just for an internet interview or, online interview. Now Avi Loeb has, I didn't know this, he has a Netflix movie thing coming out. What was he paid? What was Avi Loeb paid by Netflix?
People who know me at my university, Harvard or elsewhere, they are very respectful, and they know my way of thinking, which is very often outside the box. And the only people who are really pushing against me and trying to ridicule this discussion are either not very smart or simply don't know me.
Okay. A good spot to take a break. We'll be back right after this when We're Not Alone continues. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone, to this very special edition.
So the amount that was paid to Avi Loeb, I just checked, by Netflix to Avi Loeb has not been disclosed. And the number will not be disclosed. Because I'm sure it's a pretty good number. It's a pretty good number, Avi. So the only one that's making good money, all you got to do is keep up the bullshit, right? Keep up the bullshit. Keep calling it aliens. Keep going. The only one who is making a lot of money off of this is all the people online with all the clickbait. I refused, even though I would help my channel a lot. It would help my channel a lot to put on the dumbass clickbait stuff, the misleading garbage that is basically perpetrated by Avi Loeb. But when you take a look at how much, follow the money, baby. Who's making the money out of all this? Avi Loeb. Netflix, I did not know about this Netflix series.
Of We're Not Alone. We're honored to have Harvard professor,
probably
Dr.
a few
Avi
million.
Loeb with us. Perhaps
2-3
the
million?
most in-demand expert talking about 3-eye atlas in the world. Avi, a couple things to ask you. On the Loeb scale, what are the odds that this is an alien something? And how soon will we know? And I've got an interesting question for you. Don't hate me for it. It's not very scientific. What's your gut tell you? Is there any room for intuition in science?
There is room for intuition in science, but in this particular case, we are about to get a flood of data as the object comes closest to the sun in a few days, and as the object comes closest to Earth in a few days, I would rather wait a few weeks until I see the data before expressing my value for rank for this object on the Loeb scale.
That right there, my friends, Champ, you made a good point there. That right there, my friends, is a 20-mile alien mothership. Right there, you're looking at a 20-mile alien mothership. I say this because I'm trying to get a Netflix deal for $2 or $3 million, and I'm guessing $2 or $3 million. It could be more, could be less. But Avi got a fat paycheck, right? Oh, he's got a fat paycheck.
And so let's just be patient and speak again, perhaps in January, once I know the verdict from based on the data that is collected.
And do you feel confident we will have answers? I know we have to wait, but will there be definitive answers? Because to those of us lay people, the pictures just look fuzzy. We don't know what we're looking at.
It's an alien. Just kidding. It's a comet.
Will there be answers?
Yeah, I do think that with the use of spectrographs to measure the emission from the gas, so we can find the fingerprints of various molecules and atoms in the plume of gas surrounding 3I Atlas, as well as measure the speed of the gas, I think that would make it quite clear as to how much mass was lost. And if, for example, the object lost a significant fraction of its mass in these jets, and we infer that the jets have all the characteristics of the natural cometary jets, then I think we can pretty much rest assured that it's a natural object. However, if, for example, we observe when it passes close to Jupiter and then it deposits some devices at the Lagrange point of Jupiter, because it will pass exactly at the right distance from Jupiter, where Jupiter's gravity dominates.
For the record, before he gets to Jupiter, there has been a ton of spectrographs done. So basically, he just keeps talking because the average. You think this reporter is smart enough to know what a spectrograph is? She's just going, oh my God, just as a layperson, is it a spaceship? I just need to know if it's a spaceship. Just all she asked for is a number out of 10 on his own chart. And I know he's given it a 4. Early on, he gave it a 4, 40%. Now, based on my math reasoning, out of a percentage, if I divide 40 by 10, I get 4. I'm just saying, it's just math. There's been spectrographs done constantly on this stuff. But of course, the average person, this stuff sounds good. What, they haven't done this stuff? The scientists, they're hiding. They must be doing this and that. And what does it all turn into? A fat ass paycheck from Netflix to Avi Loeb. Follow the money, my friends. Follow the money, because no one else is making. You think the NASA guys are making money? Is Brian Cox? Neil deGrasse Tyson, is he making money? Avi Loeb is making money on a Netflix special because 3I Atlas might be an alien spaceship. Oh, this is... I might be thinking this wrong about Avi Loeb. He might be smarter than I thought.
Over the sun's gravity, which is another anomaly. Why does it arrive exactly at that distance to Jupiter? Right? So if it does that, and we see some devices being deployed there, we would know it's technological. So there are ways to decide one way or another in a clear fashion, and I hope that within a month or two I will know the answer, and I'll be glad to tell you. It's just like the work of a detective. It's better to wait for all the clues to come along and then make a decision.
It's better to wait for the Netflix deal to come along.
Without prejudice.
Yes, and you are in the trenches, and we appreciate that.
Right in there with that multi-million-dollar Netflix deal.
Very quickly, because I have a very important question to ask you before we wrap up. Something with AI and YouTube and some AI impersonating you. What's going on with that? Can you fill us in?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I got a lot of emails from fans. I usually get hundreds of them every day from all around the world. And some of them were asking me questions about a new channel on YouTube that is apparently showing videos of me saying things. And I immediately realized that this is fake. These videos were created by artificial intelligence, AI, and they're basically putting words in my mouth that I've never approved. And I wrote to YouTube and I told them.
Like a letter? You wrote a letter? Like you put a stamp on it? What do you mean? I hope it was an email. This story was reported on my blog on medium.com, and as a result, there was
news outlet, Futurism, that reported about it. And then I was invited to speak on NBC News about it that evening. And I also consulted with legal advisors at Harvard University. So after I mentioned all of that to the YouTube team, within an hour, this channel was removed. I must say that to their credit, they also released an official statement that was mentioned on NBC News. So at the end of the day, this channel was removed. But this is a risk, a challenge that we face in the future, whether, how to authenticate content that we find in video or audio forms on the internet. And in this case, it was easy because if you were to watch the clock behind me, it wouldn't really move. The handles wouldn't move in those fake videos. Also, I changed the color of my tie from red to blue.
Change the color of this tie. But now, would I look okay with a tie? I thought about if I put like a jacket on, Disco. If I put a jacket on, Thomas, if I put a jacket on, a tie, and I changed the color of my tie so that AI doesn't, change the words I'm saying.
Just to make sure that all my followers will know that I'm not wearing a red tie anymore in these video interviews.
Well, that's disturbing. I'm glad you got it sorted out.
That is disturbing.
The age of disclosure. Everybody is talking about this documentary. What do you think about it?
Thanks,
do you think there's been a government cover-up? Do you think we have aliens among us?
I don't know because I was never privy of the information the government has. I do think that if there is any unusual materials or data that they collected 50 years ago, that they should release it to the public, to scientists, because it's irrelevant for national security as to what technologies were used by adversarial nations 50 years ago. There is no risk to national security. But frankly, I don't know if they have such interesting information. And I'm leading the Galileo project, where we build the observatories. We have 3 of them. One in Massachusetts, another one in Pennsylvania, and a third one in Nevada, where we monitor the sky, millions of objects every year, analyze the data with machine learning software, and try to figure out if there is anything unusual in our sky. And if we don't, we will not.
Do we really want Avi Loeb determining whether there's something unusual in our skies? Or do we want someone who is maybe a little bit more objective, scientifically objective? Disco, thank you. I might actually look good in a bow tie. Thank you very much. He's a Harvard professor. Is he irresponsible, or is there something to this? Laravel, I don't know. I look, he got a huge Netflix deal. If he wasn't talking about all of this alien stuff, he would not get a huge Netflix deal. He got a big freaking payday. And if anyone is making money off this stuff, I'm not making money. I have no interest in either way from this, except for just the idea that allows science and rational thinking to be the basis for what our belief system is as a planet, as a society, as a species. If they're aliens, they're stupid aliens. No one lives on Jupiter. Oh, yeah, I got that one. Yeah. Disco. Oh, no, you don't know.
Find any extraterrestrial objects out there. I'm happy to provide all the tools that we developed to the Pentagon so that they can use it for national security purposes. If we do find it, I'll be glad to speak with you and discuss what we found.
So, Avi, am I safe to assume that you have never had a personal encounter of your own, perhaps seen a UAP, UFO, or contact with non-human intelligence, anything like that in your personal life?
Yes.
Can I answer that for him? He was abducted. I'm just kidding.
You are correct. I never had that, but I take seriously reports from others, including within government. But until I verify that something unusual exists using scientific instruments, I would not necessarily believe those reports.
Avi, we're out of time. I've been reading your articles on Medium. Where can people read about you? Would that be the best source? And if they would like to get in touch with you, are they welcome to?
And where can they give money? More money.
Tell us how we can reach you.
They are most welcome. I don't see myself as different from the public. I just have this fortune of being able to pursue my curiosity using the scientific tools that I developed over the years. And you can find my writings, my essays on a daily basis on medium.com. Avi Loeb.medium.com. And then, of course, there are two books that I wrote recently, Extraterrestrial and Interstellar.
See, this is where we find it. Got to promote the books, got to promote the website, got to promote the things that bring in the moolah, right? This is the call to action. Buy my books. You heard me talk for 20 minutes. Buy my books. Oh, did I mention there's a Netflix special that I got paid millions of dollars for? I didn't mention that? Oh, no.
You might want to watch the Netflix documentary that comes out next year. And hopefully the best is yet to come. That's the approach that I take. And I'm optimistic that we will learn much more about our cosmic environment because...
Hey, if I was getting paid millions of bucks, I would be on this alien stuff. If I one day change and all of a sudden I stop talking sense and I go full on alien, you know someone's giving me a bag of money. Just a bag of money. I don't know if I would accept it though. I don't know if I would. It'd have to be a big bag of money.
Very often life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't search for something better, you will never find it.
So wise. We got to end it right there because we couldn't end it in any more of a perfect way. What an honor, sir. What an honor. Thank you, Dr. Avi Loeb, Harvard professor. And we know there's no threat from 3I Atlas, but we're...
Really? I just think I've seen Mars attacks. I've seen what happens to Jack Nicholson. It ain't good.
We're not sure what it is.
It ain't good.
And I know you will keep us posted. Thank you so much for joining us.
I got to watch Mars Attacks again. That is, Chuck Norris, that picture framed Chuck Norris on left and right. I feel safe, right? I feel safe. If you guys are just joining us, Wednesday is Chuck Norris. It's Chuck Norris Wednesdays. Every Wednesday we do 12. How tough is Chuck Norris? That's why Chuck Norris is on the screen. You'll have to wait for next Wednesday for the next edition. Christmas Eve. I'll be on for 4 hours on Christmas Eve. I will be. Yeah. I'm gonna have a Christmas hat. I'm gonna have Christmas wine, Christmas, all this. So if you guys ain't doing anything in 7 days from now, please come and hang out with me. Doggy says, do you think he believes his own BS? That's a really interesting question. I think he knows what he's doing, Doggy. I don't think. Look, he's not a dumb guy, right? He's not dumb. He's a very intelligent man. I think he got a little taste. He got a little taste of social media with Oumuamua. He liked it. He made some money. The forces that be required more distraction in today's world. The distraction that he is making millions. Avi Loeb is making millions. A Netflix deal. He got a Netflix deal. Follow the money. Do I believe that? I think if the scientist in Avi knows that what he's talking about is BS. He knows it. But the other side of him says, like the speculator, the philosopher, the speculator says, well, we got to talk about it. I could see how he can justify it in his own mind. But if you're a diehard scientist, which I think most of the guys and gals at NASA are, because they have no motivation outside of the job they do. You have to look at the motivating factors. What's motivating Avi Loeb? A Netflix deal. Clickbait. He's making money on his websites, off his books, off of Netflix. He's making money. The people at NASA are making their $60,000 per year salaries. Maybe astrophysicists, maybe $100,000. I don't know what they make. The NASA astrophysicists do not have a financial benefit from all this. The only person who has financial benefit is that gentleman on the screen to the right of the blonde lady, McKay Beeler. She actually didn't do bad. She didn't do bad for the interview. Everything that Avi has said from day one has been, like I say, I did just 2-3 weeks ago, 18 points. On one side, I put verbatim what Avi Loeb said, and then I put the scientific explanation. And it might be okay for me to redo that, you know? It might be okay for me to, and the other 2 points were Oumuamua, but now there's obviously more points that Avi has made about Three Eye Atlas that is making him a lot of money. Yes, he's a snake. Philip, let's face facts. If there are aliens, they'd be roll up their windows and lock their doors when flying by Earth. That's true. Actually, or they'd smash land to try and take over. I mean, these humans ain't that bright. I mean, what percentage of humanity is smart? So, for those of you who are just joining us, we just finished the latest interview with Avi Loeb, Three Eye Atlas. And look, I'm a guy that does not believe that aliens are visiting us. Do I believe in aliens? Yes, I do. 2 trillion galaxies, multiplied by 400 billion stars, multiplied by 7.5 planets. Do I think they're visiting us? No, I don't. Do I believe in Santa Claus? Maybe. No, I don't. I think what Avi Loeb is doing is a discredit to the science community. It's a discredit to everyone at NASA who goes every morning and makes their trivial salary while this guy is getting Netflix deals worth millions of dollars because he is adamant that there is a chance aliens are disguising themselves as comets and visiting us. Doggy, he's a snake. Champ, are you suggesting Avi is doing it for the money? He genuinely believes in aliens just like many others, but he chooses to pursue it seriously and become a leading figure at Harvard. Well, that's fine if you're not a scientist, if you're not an astrophysicist. Champ, I hear what you're saying. But not when you're a scientist astrophysicist. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Imagine if every scientist in the world flew off of the mouth at some of the, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. Where are we in this world? To build a cell phone, right? This amazing piece of technology that we take for granted requires no maybes, 0 maybes. All the technology that goes into this is 100% verified because every time you turn it on and make a phone call, it works. Remember the old commercials? Can you hear me now? 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 Not anymore. This stuff works 100% of the time because the technology and the science behind it, there are no maybes involved. My first question on everything is there financial incentive for someone who is saying certain things that is contrary to the very belief system that he should uphold? A scientist, I'm not a scientist, but I do consider myself I'm a science guy. My belief system requires evidence. I don't need to disprove anything. I only believe in things that are proven. Everything else becomes. But a person at his level, the head of Harvard, what's his position? The head of Harvard something, at his level. And then he goes out and throws other people under the bus, discredits them, attacks them. He attacked Elon Musk in this interview. Like he's doing something trivial or he's doing I don't know what, he's like just another dumb comment. What does Elon Musk have anything to do with your belief that alien tech might be behind Three Eye Atlas? What are you getting Elon Musk involved? The guy's gonna SpaceX is going public next year. The guy's gonna be worth 1.5 trillion bucks by that time. 1.5 trillion freaking dollars. Philip, I base this on fact that we spend tons of money to send a probe out into the universe, inviting aliens to Earth. Then if they showed up, we'd try to knock them down with jets and missiles. Are you talking Independence Day? Well, let's face our probes aren't going that fast. I also hold out the fact that even if in 100 years from now that we get a spaceship that we do 0.1% the speed of light, 0.05% the speed of light, we could fly out, we can grab Voyager 1, we can fly out and grab Voyager 2, because they're not going that fast. They're not getting away from us. We might be able to develop the technology to say, you know what, maybe, I saw that first Star Trek where they brought that big mothership back. Maybe we should go back and get the Voyager spaceships. We'll be able to get them back easy enough. If we want Voyager back and we develop ion propulsion, plasma propulsion, all this other different types of propulsion, even like Avatar uses, which is a very credible way of propulsion, is they have big giant sails, right? And then there's massive laser system that fires a laser, and the photons from a laser creates the velocity, and in Avatar, it goes 0.7% or 0.7% the speed of light, and it gets to Alpha Centauri in 4.5 years. The science behind Avatar and how they use propulsion in space is actually very solid. It's very solid. James Cameron has done some pretty good science. The problem is he's going to Jupiter and he's converting Jupiter's mass into anti-energy or antimatter. I'm not sure which one. And of course, matter and mass are interchangeable, but anti-energy, I'm not sure which one will be easier to store given magnetic fields and everything like that. That's the hard part. We don't even know if negative mass exists, right? But the whole science behind there's nothing going on with 3i Atlas that is such an anomaly that we need to address it as alien tech. There's nothing there that is to the point that it is an alien or suggests alien, right? I think there would be a lot more astrophysicists, theoretical physicists, those guys that are like theoretically, they're talking about the theory of physics, not just like James Gates and these, what are the other theoretical, even Brian Greene to a certain point. These guys are out there discussing theoretical physics, but nobody has jumped on Avi Loeb's side. Nobody. And who's making all the money? Who got the Netflix deal? Avi Loeb. Yes, it was Avi Loeb who got the Netflix deal. So Philip, we spend tons of money to send a probe out into, we're sending lots of probes out there. Science is, like I always say, science is a superpower. It's the only superpower in this world, science. And I don't understand why, I don't, people like religion is preoccupied with science, and I get it, because science is the one thing that kills blind faith. If you have and look, if someone has blind faith, keep it, own it. I don't care if you believe in God and Jesus and all, or whatever if you're Islam and you have the Mohammed and everything, or Buddhism or Sikh or Hindu, whatever you are, I don't care. Own it, keep it. Doesn't bother me. But don't try and take science as your own. Science in itself cannot be usurped by one voice like Avi Loeb and turn it into a Frankenstein monster, so that you're the one that's making all the frickin' money. I mean, it's a good. It's a good. Avi Loeb made all of his money off OnlyFans. Oh, Disco. Oh, did he? I'm going to OnlyFans. No, just kidding. Yeah. He'd make a perfect guest on Coast to Coast AM. Yeah. But you just admitted that you believe in aliens. Me? Well, no, of course I believe in aliens. I just don't believe they're visiting us, champ. Do I believe in aliens? Absolutely. Look. The idea, let's say an infinite universe. The universe is infinite. How much life, if the universe is infinite, I can easily say that there's an infinite amount of intelligent life. An infinite amount. Because we exist. Because one intelligent life exists, that is us. If it's an infinite universe and we are confirmed that one exists, then we can confirm that an infinite amount of intelligent life exists, right? There is an infinite amounts of you and me doing an infinite amount. Every single decision is being done because it's infinite. They have nothing to do with us. They are their own separate entities. That is the whole idea behind infinity. Infinity in itself. I mean, I've done a couple of videos on infinity, and I love doing videos on infinity because the permutations and the thought process, the rabbit holes that you go into with infinity is crazy. I mean, that little sideways 8 is, it is, oh geez. Mike says milk. NASA is no longer hiring Harvard grads. Well, that could be milk. Space Ghost. Coast to Coast. No, George Noory. Yeah. There's some things you got to talk about or think about before you make a comment on live YouTube. Like I'm kind of a calculating guy, you know. How is it blind faith is turned away with science when with every new discovery we find out much more we don't know? Hold up. How is it blind faith is turned away with science when with every new discovery we find out how much more we don't know? So let's say I get where you're going, creative. If the more we learn, the more we discover we don't know, it's still a process by which we are intrinsically increasing the amount that we know. There was a time. So let me just take Noah's Ark. Let me take Noah's Ark, for example. If you're going to take 2 of each species and establish an ark that is going to feed and then pick up all the excrement. There's a lot of poop that's going to be made every day. And house these things now it rained for 40 days, 40 nights, but they were floating for over a year. Man, if you're going to take 2 of each animal, you're going to have, and I did the math on this, a Noah's Ark the size of Manhattan Island that is 8 stories high. 8 stories, Manhattan Island. You cannot build a wooden ship that big. Where'd they get the kangaroos? Look, so logic and science is the death knell to blind faith. That doesn't mean you can't have blind faith and believe in your religion. Keep it. Who cares? Science doesn't care. Science does not care about religion. Religion does care about science, and that's fine. And I'm not here to talk about. I'm here to talk about science. He was on Coast to Coast for a few months ago. Oh man. Disco. Whoa. Disco. Holy cow. This is my first ever super chat. Phone home. Wow, I'm growing as a channel. It's Disco. You are now acknowledged as my first ever super chat. Can I give a hell yeah? Something like that? Thank you, Disco. I never ask for these things. If they're provided, I thank you. These things can, obviously, a YouTube channel ain't cheap. I'll tell you, it's not cheap. Ooh, it's not cheap. But hopefully, look. You might have an opinion that's not the same as me, and I don't care. What I want is debate. I want the discussion. And I will never fault anyone. The only time I will fault someone is when it becomes personal, becomes aggressive. But if we're having a discussion and people are putting out their ideas that I might not maybe agree with, I'm amicable to a change. If the evidence presents itself, I think all of us over the times of our lives, we have changed our minds on things. But I love the debate. If I don't agree with you, that's fine. Creative, sorry, try to chat on the phone. That's okay, Creative. That's okay. Faith and knowledge are Ginger Wildcat. Oh, I could put these things up too. Faith and knowledge are inseparable. You can't believe what you don't know, and you can't know what you don't believe. Well, I mean, I don't agree with that. Knowledge has nothing to do with faith. The two are very separate. Faith is, I'll have to go to the exact definition of faith, because I know what faith is, but let me use the dictionary definition. Strong belief in the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual conviction rather than proof. Complete trust or confidence in something or someone or something. So basically, we're talking about the idea of the bar for belief is much lower for faith, right? You have faith in, I have faith in you. Having faith in someone is not exactly a scientific way of suggesting that, it's if you can measure where a particle is in the universe based on a few factors, right? Every particle in the universe can be measured as to where it is. Although quantum physics tells us that the more you know about the speed of a particle, the less you know about where it is, and the more about where it is, the less you know about the velocity or something like that, right? So no, I don't believe faith and knowing what you know or science or belief is. I mean, I think the two are diametrically opposed. Ginger, I think the two are You made I made the big time doggy. Oh man. Okay, I appreciate everyone that comes by. When you go online, like for a guy like me, I go online. The fact that people show up and want to talk and about science and the stuff it's pretty overwhelming. It's pretty amazing. Creative, right? But is it possible that it's allegorical? That it is allegorical, or to be treated as a parable? Oh, creative. What were we talking about? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I feel like I'm on 2 or 3 different discussion strings. I appreciate that you're providing an actual channel. Every other channel on here is modern American women selling their ass online, internet hookers. Thank you, Disco. The one thing, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos too, right? And I've watched, and science can be as fun as anything else. Science is fun. Science is science fiction movies. Science is as much a Marvel movie as it is the black hole, the first black hole that they found traversing the universe at 2.2 million miles per hour that we talked about earlier today. Science should be fun. Science does not need to be stuffy. We can learn and have different opinions, although we can't argue 1 + 1 = 2. I will be adamant in that. But I've never seen a YouTube channel that kind of gives a feeling of hope and a feeling of realism without feeling like it's clickbait or it's trying to sell the dog man or, guests that were taken up by aliens and things like that. Oh my God, a lot of comments coming in. But thank you, Disco. I appreciate the support and I appreciate the kind words. It really means a lot. It really does. Cool. It's kind of like the movie Dogma. Is better to have an idea, not just a belief. You can change. Yes. Good point. I hear what you're saying, Creative. Oh, wait a sec. Why do I got those people on there? Why do I got Avi Loeb on there? What the hell am I doing, man? There we go. I got this set up properly. Let's go back to call. Yeah. I was wondering why is this comment right on my face? Oh my God. Dumbass. I got.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Well, yeah, I did. Thank you, Robert. Jesus ain't black because he is the bright and the morning star at the end of the Bible. Jesus ain't black because he is the bright and morning star at the end of the Bible. Huge Royal Coin Cinema. I don't know what to say to that. Science and spirituality are intertwined. CERN is revealing what people knew thousands of years ago. So wait a sec. Particle collisions? People knew about particle collisions thousands of years ago? I will almost guarantee you that a grade 2 student has a higher education than the average person from 2,000 years ago. I'll guarantee you. The average grade 2 student can do much more complex math than the average person from 2,000 years ago. I think the average person from 2,000 years ago, have you seen Life of Brian? Guys, go watch Life of Brian. I watched Life of Brian about 3-4 weeks ago. What a great movie. It's a Christmas movie. I don't know. It's kind of a Christmas movie. Jesus, I got that. You didn't really process my sentence. You went off on keywords. You can't be sure of knowledge without faith in knowledge or faith in how the knowledge was obtained. I mean, you're kind of talking philosophical there, Ginger. You didn't really process my sentence. You went off on keywords. You can't be sure of knowledge without faith. Well, if you're going to say you need to have faith in the knowledge, you have to have faith in the science. I won't argue that. Or faith in how the knowledge was obtained. Meaning that you read a scientific paper or you hear evidence of something that just happened, you have to have faith in that the scientific process that occurred. So I guess I'm getting what you're saying, Ginger. I have to have faith in the scientific process of others because I wasn't the one that conducted the experiments. I get that. I think I agree with you with that. Yes, I need to have a faith or understanding in the process or the system. So I think I'm getting what you. I love stuffy science. I love stuffy science. Shit, damn, yeah. And you can't believe in anything without first having knowledge of it. You can't believe in anything without first having that of course. To form a belief in something, you have to, for me, to form a belief in something, I need to have a significant amount of evidence, right? And my belief system, it's basically, how is your belief system? What's the basis of your belief system? Mine is science. Mine is a science fact. So there's certain science that I regard as being fact, as a matter of fact. And I base my belief system off of that. I have friends that are very religious. I do. A lot of I have friends that are, and their belief systems are like, whoa, how do you believe in what? Really? Like I would have, I always tell that story with, my ex-girlfriends that wouldn't go downstairs because the ghost was going to attack her, but she was okay with me going down. I was like, well, why isn't the ghost going to attack me then? How come you're not worried for me? How come you're not concerned for my safety? Because there's a ghost that it doesn't make any sense, right? I don't believe in ghosts. Yes, faith and knowledge are fundamental, and they support one another and cannot survive without one another. I mean, that's a philosophical statement. And I love philosophy. I took philosophy in university alongside my English. That is an interesting. I bet you there's been a couple of philosophers that we could go to that have done a fair amount of work on that. I don't think you're wrong, Ginger. I don't think you're wrong. How you define faith might be the key thing. Knowledge is fairly straightforward. What knowledge is from the perspective of science. 1 + 1 = 2 type of knowledge, verified facts, verified. So you can't say a second grader is more intelligent than the founder of Buddhism. I've never met the founder of Buddhism. Buddhism, I have studied Buddhism to a certain degree. A lot of the stuff was like, what? You're telling me I turned into an earthworm? Excuse me? Some of the Buddhism stuff, like, come on, it's out there. Other stuff, some of the deep philosophical stuff is pretty intriguing. It's pretty intriguing. I'm not saying, okay, now you're taking a very specific individual. Like, so you're going to say that Fibonacci, who lived in the 11th century, you can't say that the average grade, well, no, Fibonacci was a mathematical genius who lived 1,000 years ago. So there's always going to be people that are incredibly more intelligent than we're talking about the average, the lay person, the vernacular, right? We're talking about the vernacular. The average person 2,000 years ago probably couldn't do what's 3 times 6. What's 3? You know, 8, it's 18. It's 18. got my calculator. 3 times 6 is 18. He's saying, Zach, he's saying in general. Yeah. And all science and religion started with those fundamental forms of faith and knowledge. Faith and knowledge are fundamental components of consciousness. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Faith is a integral component in all of us. What we choose to have faith in is going to change person to person. Ginger, I wouldn't disagree with that. There's some interesting philosophical points you touch on. Very interesting. He said average. Yeah, that's what I said. Exactly. Yeah. Wait, okay. Look, consciousness is one of the hardest words to spell. Consciousness. Concise. Sorry. Hold on a sec. Conciseness or consciousness? Zach, I got you. Conciseness or consciousness? Consciousness. Yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, Ginger. No, Ginger, you're making good points. Faith and knowledge. I am, but understand with me, I am. What I bring to the table is a very black and white. I like Brian Cox. There's very little that I disagree with Brian Cox on. Very little. But there is a lot that I disagree with, let's say, some of the theologians of our time. I'm not a religious person. I don't, Zach, I mean, faith and knowledge do have to be concise as well. Yeah. And faith is faith is a moving point. Like, what is faith? It's like Avi Loeb and 3-Eye Atlas. I don't know. When Avi Loeb and when he talks about 3-Eye Atlas, where does his knowledge begin? You're saying things that your knowledge intrinsically must tell you that this is a comet. But yet you persist. Why would someone persist on a certain specificity where the facts do not really support what he's saying? Well, we found out tonight that Avi Loeb got a Netflix contract. Avi Loeb got a fat payday. Money will make you agreeable to a lot. What do you need me to say? What do you want me to keep saying? Okay, I'll keep saying that. Avi Loeb is making a lot of money. Netflix. I find you amiable. I'm glad you're this relaxed. Have you looked into Dr. Hammeroff or Dr. Penrose's theory on microtubules expressing quantum coherence in the brain as the mechanism for consciousness? It's a lot of big words in a sentence. I am familiar with the names. I have probably read things in the past, although the names aren't connecting to anything specifically. Do I got more? You giving me homework, Ginger? I mean, that's the great thing. Like when you've got people out there, obviously the sum of the parts are going to be way smarter than me, right? Dr. Hammeroff. I should just take a picture with my phone, right? Penrose theory. Penrose, yeah. Yeah. I am a monist. Are you a monist? Are you serious? I have to. You're monistic. That's right. I remember doing a little bit of research on being monistic, a monist. Are you serious, Mason? Are you a monist? Are you serious? Because that's a pretty deep philosophical position to take. That's not a position someone just accidentally falls into. Being a monist is... Avi Loeb is not a monist. We all remember Hale Bop comment. Oh, dude, creative Hale Bop. 1997, you've got to drink the purple liquid. So, yeah, Hale Bop. I've used Hale Bop as a great example for 3-Eye Atlas. Because if you remember Hale Bop, because, I think creative, you're like... I remember that day, too. Because Hale Bop is a comet that comes around the sun every 2,534 years. The last time Hale Bop came by before 1997 was before Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great died at 323 BCE, right? 323 BCE, which was the start of the Hellenistic period, which was probably the greatest period because that formed the foundation of Western civilization. Alexander the Great is the founder. I would even go so far as to say Alexander the Great is the founder of modern Western culture to a significant degree. He really is. And the Hellenistic period and the generals that took over from there. But we all remember. Yeah. And so Hale Bop, people thought that there was a ship behind Hale Bop, and if they drink the purple liquid, they will end up behind in the spaceship behind Hale Bop. This is what irrational thinking does. Faith in something like that gets you there. There's no scientific evidence that can get you to that point to make you believe that there's a spaceship and that if you drink the purple liquid that you will find yourself. Only faith can get you to that point. Science cannot get you there. It will never get you there because science is the one thing that will stop you from drinking the purple liquid. Now, that's a fairly black and white differentiation between science, knowledge, and faith. Faith can get you into things that science will never get you into. Science, like Spock was pretty droll, right? He was like, fuck, I love Spock. Spock was my man. Well, where are we here? Consciousness is top-down proto-panpsychism. Oh man, I did a video on panpsychism. This is like now we're getting like serious on some of this stuff. Proto-panpsychism is an entire episode, an entire 20-minute YouTube video all unto its own, Mason. More like pantheist. Oh yeah, dude. Creative. What was freaky? Was there was an earthquake in California? When was the earthquake in California? I just moved from California. I just moved from Los Angeles. What was freaky was the earthquake in California. I think I'm missing something. It's the coolest hard science frontier, bringing together philosophy, inductive logic, and empirical logic science. Oh, gotcha, Ginger. Yeah, I'll have to see what those guys say. There's so many different ways of thinking. There's so many different philosophers, and you try and keep up with it all. It is tough. I mean, it is tough. And Champ, sounds like you're just hating on Avi because he's getting paid to repeat what the three of us already believe, and you're not. Fuck, of course I am, Champ. And he's getting paid millions to do it. That proves he's not dumb. Of course, my friend. Of course. Alexander the Great, 47,000 phalanges defeated half the world. You know what? The movie Alexander the Great with what's his name? Penguin. Penguin was a great series. What a great series Penguin was. That's good TV. As a screenwriter, that was one of the few instances of a recent Landman. I have not watched Landman. I got to watch that. But the Alexander, the 2002 or whatever with Colin Farrell, it's underrated. Watch it again, guys. I mean, go back and watch Alexander the Great with Colin Farrell. If you want a good 3-hour epic, it really is There's so many movies from back then that are now underrated because of the filth that we get. Purple Liquid was Jonestown. They were doing propofol. Well, I don't know what they. Yes, yeah, the Purple Liquid. I know Jonestown. I don't know what they drank at Hellbop. They drank something. I don't know if it was purple. It was something. But yeah, Jonestown. Oh my God. Oh shit. The day that Heaven's Gate happened, there was an earthquake that I slept through. Sorry. Oh, I slept through a lot of earthquakes in Los Angeles. I think I only felt 2 or 3 the whole 20 years I was there. I was waiting but the ones that I felt were freaking scary. Guys, if you've never felt an earthquake, the feeling of the earth moving beneath your feet is absolutely shocking. Do I believe in objective morality? That's a pretty... I don't know if there's one answer for that. A person can have objective morality. A person can have subjective morality. I think it depends on the subject, whether someone is objective or subjective in their belief system, I guess. But these are deep philosophical questions that are Ginger. You can't keep up with it all, even if you neglect your body, which you should never do. We all have to choose what we're drawn to and study to our heart's content. I wake up at 2:30 in the morning every morning. I go to the gym at 3 a.m. I spend an hour and a half, 2 hours. I come back, sleep for an hour, then I get my butt going. You have to look at Chuck Norris. We go back to Chuck Norris. Look at Chuck Norris. He's 85. The guy looks freaking amazing. The guy still works the heavy bag. I was a kickboxer. I got 30 years on the guy. He would kick my ass in the ring. He would. Chuck would. You do not neglect the body. If the one thing you do for yourself, lift weights, muscles, don't go for a walk. That's just exercise. You need to work out. Going for a walk is the lazy person's way of saying I worked out. That's not working out. Working out means intensity, putting stress on the muscles. That is in itself is, it makes you feel amazing. Anyone who works out knows what that feeling is for the rest of the day, right? Mason is, if one thing is objective, let me put that up. If one thing is objective morality, then objective morality is true. If one thing is objective morality, well, not as a macro, not as a, if one thing is objective, it's perspective, though. I think that's what I'm looking at it as, right? If you have objective morality, everyone's going to have their own perspective, objective, subjective. I think morality comes from, we all have innate morality as human beings. Religion does not create morality because thou shalt not kill Is you don't need a deity to tell you thou shalt. And if you do need a deity to tell you thou shalt not kill, I think you're in trouble. Like really, I think your entire morality system's in trouble if you needed God to tell you that. We've known that for thousands of years when there were other messiahs coming along before. The human condition spans thousands of years. Morality, thou shalt not kill, is something that is it's even with most animal species, right? I mean, that's morality is there's something innate in our DNA with morality. They make me woozy, and I always check online to make sure I am not imagining or hallucinating things after feeling the shocks in California and Arizona. Yeah, they do. Earthquakes. Like I say, I spent 20 years in Los Angeles. I just got out. May 11th. May 11th of this year, I got out of Los Angeles. Thank God. Oh, thank God. For example, it is always objectively, morally wrong to hurt kids. Absolutely. Well, yeah. Okay. So now you're talking about macro objective morals, like specific morals. Yeah, like if you're gonna what the Christians will call is the Ten Commandments, which is very, very defective. I mean, I do think that what's his name did drop 5 of them because it's missing some serious morality on the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt not worship false idols. Really, you still got to have that one in there. I mean, we could probably change that one. Yeah, Mason. Yeah, I agree. It is an 8. Yes, correct. Yeah. Imagine the 10 Commandments if lawyers published it. Oh my God. That's a good way of looking at things. The 10 Commandments from the legal perspective. Like that. Yeah, that's a good, that is actually an interesting perspective, right? When you 10 Commandments if lawyers published it. Kickboxing is awesome. I trained at Fairtex back in the 6th grade. I trained with Mike Miles for many years, and he was actually a 6th ranked kickboxer in Canada. I spent half my life in the United States, half my life in Canada, but I learned kickboxing from a near world champion. I actually started off with boxing. I don't know if you guys heard of Willie DeWitt. Willie DeWitt was a silver medalist in the Olympics, heavyweight. And I got to spend a year learning from his trainer, so I learned great technique. But if you want great exercise, guys, take a boxing class, take a kickboxing class. You don't have to go in the ring and get beat up and get hit. You don't. You stretch. It's strength to range of motion. You exercise and working the bag. I like working the bag for about an hour a day. Oh, and I put weights in there to like change everything up and stretching. Yeah, kickboxing, a great exercise. That's very scientific way to prove objective morality. I feel like it's true. At noon. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Mason, what if a child was trying to slice your child's throat? Would it be wrong to put him down? Now you're you're inserting morality upon morality. Mason, what if a child was trying to slice your child's throat? Would it be wrong to put him down? Now we're talking about societal, what does the society think? How do you make the laws that govern objective? Society needs objective morality, right? We know that. Society needs objective morality. Subjective morality does not work. Subjective morality is not going to work in a society. I find it romantic that Ayn Rand was atheist and yet she basically identified God's philosophy, objectivism. Everything you read about God tells you he's an objectivist. I can't read anything about God because I don't believe there is one. I respect the fact that you take that belief. There's many people. Look, I'm agnostic because I believe there's a slight chance that we might be in a simulation. God might be a 10th dimensional being that is so far beyond our. An ant to a boot the ant would be like miles more advanced than we would be to this 10th dimensional being. Is the universe conscious? Panpsychism, right? Panpsychism. Is the universe conscious? Is everything conscious? Does this microphone, this is a point of philosophy. Does this microphone have a minute amount of consciousness that we don't understand? But does it have consciousness? I mean, these are, I don't know if we ever get the answers to this stuff. This becomes more of a personal mission if someone's going to believe panpsychism or something like that. Mason, I need to add innocent, normal child in my comments. Well, maybe. Kickboxing is the best self-defense if you're not in a suit of armor over soft ground. Grabbing was invented for armored warriors caught in close quarters or sand, mud, or grass. I will tell you what, Ginger. I mean, as a kickboxer, you know, someone who was able to use all four limbs, and even I could do some, you know, some. I actually came second in my state in Greco-Roman wrestling. I came number two. So I was a good Greco-Roman wrestler, but kickboxing. Look, kickboxers, MMA. You look at MMA guys. They learn boxing. Like, right. That's the key thing. Is elbows in, having that. If I got into a scrap with another boxer or kickboxer, you can tell by the stance, right? You know the elbows are in and they're moving like they know. It's okay. Let's just back off. Let's not do this. Like, just back off. Like, you know what? Don't get into a fight with a boxer. Don't. When someone spends their life getting punched in the head, you will not knock them down. You will never knock them down. And one punch from a boxer is 10 times more powerful than a normal person's. I guarantee you, I can punch as hard as any 250-pound guy. As a matter of fact, probably harder. Because once you know how to punch, that's the, yeah, I believe in God, but not man-made religions. Yeah, that's an interesting, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'd be interested into a lot of discussions in that kind of a way of thinking. Yeah, God would not care whether it went left or right. Dear God, there's 2 trillion galaxies. There's 2 trillion galaxies. Why would he care about an unremarkable planet and an unremarkable solar system and an unremarkable part of a galaxy and an unremarkable galaxy where there's 2 trillion galaxies? Come on. It's not... the one thing that freaks me out about the 10 Commandments is that no other gods before me. So there are other beings out there like aliens that we would put before our God. Look, there's a few points in the 10 Commandments that are like, thou shalt not worship false idols. What are you talking about, man? That makes sense 2,000 years ago, but like they need an upgrade. Pope, what's the Pope's name? Yo, Pope from New York or Pope from Chicago. You need an upgrade, brah. Come on, give me a call. Google pantheism, not pantheism. Pantheism, not pantheism, to see the difference. Oh, you got me like, I think I'm losing weight. During this live stream. Noted. Mason, noted. No kickboxing with knees and elbows and super close combat. So that is the Muay Thai. A friend of mine did that. That's in Asia there. They do that. I learned a little bit of knees and elbows. And of course, when you do that stuff, you always want to keep in. And the same with your hips. It's how you move your hips. You got to keep your hips in. But if you're in a street fight and you're trying to defend yourself, oh man, knees, elbows, all that stuff comes into play if you get, back against the wall and you got to use it. Look, violence, there's nothing beneficial to violence. Anger is always, nothing good comes from anger. Nothing. In self-defense, yeah, it does. Nothing good comes from anger. There's nothing good. Smile and walk away. We all feel anger sometimes. Just smile and walk away. I mean, that's, my dad used to always tell me that. And I had to listen because, if you're a kickboxer for a few years, you can beat people up so easily. It's responsibility, but it's also a human responsibility. Do you really want to hurt somebody, right? I mean, the simulation thing originates in the literature in 1989, paper by Chris Langan in the Universe Self-Simulation Theory. It's not about computers. It suggests the universe is conscious. Well, the simulation theory does suggest that there is a framework of code that creates reality. Not saying that it is like the James Gates, who found the error correcting codes within the fabric of the universe. It's hard to describe it. I don't know if we could describe it. And there's probably a few different philosophical takes on the simulation theory. It's not about computers. No, it's not. It's something way beyond that, the simulation theory. The simulation theory goes so far beyond. If our universe is a simulation, that simulation is so far advanced, we could not even begin to understand the complexity of it. Although, if you saw the news with quantum computing, there might be a day where quantum computing merges with AI, where we create artificial intelligence that becomes conscious, because it basically just becomes the amount of neurons that are connecting each other. And if you confine it into a realm of a massive computer, and you put AI characters, and these characters, you create the laws and the rules of a universe within this massive quantum computer. Who's to say that the AI beings that maybe have just as many neurons, we have 86 billion neurons, maybe they have 100 billion neurons on a that these little things within the computer program that we made believe that they are conscious and they are living within a program that we designed. It's very real. It's very possible, especially after what we know about AI. Will we create a computer program where we insert AI that is so complex that they have the complexity of the neural network of a human being, which is, again, 86 billion neurons. And if you create 1,000 AI things within a massive computer system, do they believe that they are alive in this system? These are serious questions. Are we any different? You just make these AI entities within a computer program that we make believe that they are corporeal, believe that they are flesh and blood, believe that they are, you can create that belief through some sort of DNA strand, right? Which is the code that we insert into it's all crazy stuff. You can go down a rabbit hole and never come back out. Creative, once you know how to kick, it is impossible to unlearn. That's true. That is true. You just got to keep flexible. And that the universe is self-simulating. We do it every day when we think. Simulation predates turning computers. The double slit experiment suggests that, right? That observation is an integral part of the collapsing of probabilities down to one reality. Without observation, you just have millions, billions, trillions of probabilities until it's observed and it collapses into one. Exactly how a video game works. If the Big Bang is true, then something had to cause it, something outside of space, time, and matter. Effects need causes. Well, Mason, so one of the big things the theory of relativity stated that black holes existed long before we determined they did and saw them. It also says that white holes exist. So if you take a black hole where nothing can escape, you have the mathematical certainty that white holes exist. And they are probably on the other side of a black hole, where a white hole is only allows stuff to go out. Only light can go out. Light cannot go in. My theory is, or thought is, that the universe is infinite, and that is a constant growth, regrowth, explosion. Black holes turn everything into a singularity. On the other side, white holes spit it back out. Nothing. No. If the second here, the problem that you say that something needs to be create. If you say that something needs to create the universe, then something needs to create that which created the universe. You cannot stop. If you believe in this idea that something needs to create it, you cannot stop at a creator and say, well, this creator, well, I'm just going to stop at the creator and nothing needs to create the creator. Well, then why can't you use that same logic with the universe? The universe doesn't need a creator. But you can stop at the creator and say, well, no, the creator doesn't, the creator's always been here. Well, can I use that same logic with the universe? And that's pretty airy, fluffy kind of reasoning. And I can just copy paste that onto the universe and just discount the idea that there's a creator, right? I mean, it's not, there's no giant leap of philosophical intuition there. But the Big Bang, yeah. Anger and self-defense is not even that safe. Anger puts you off your balance. If you get into an altercation with someone and they're calm, you're fucked. You're screwed. One of the best fights, I think, is Jack Reacher, Tom Cruise, when he's in the bar and he goes outside with those 4 or 5 guys. Now, I have been in a tangle with 3 guys and I came out for the better. But when you're trained and you act calm, it's like, why is okay? I'm freaking out, and this guy's not even shaking. He's like going for an afternoon tea. And you better be scared of a guy that's not. Yeah. But violence is never the answer. It's never the answer. So you took French kickboxing, not Muay Thai. Are there any huge differences? I took so with Mike Miles, he had a whole bunch of different styles, and at the end of the day, now we're talking like, 30, 35 years ago. He had a whole different skill set that he took, but it was not Muay Thai. It was his kickboxing base had a few different disciplines that I learned, and I punch and kick a bag, man. That's what I do. I punch and kick a bag, and I do a little bit of knees and elbows, not too much. You don't want to hurt yourself. You could really hurt yourself working on a bag. You really can. You got to know how to work a bag, or else you'll hurt yourself very easly. Break a wrist, break a finger, break a knuckle, put your whole shoulder structure out, elbow. Oh yeah, it's oh my God. Yeah, the collapse occurs because the observation is technically an assault of particles so that the event can be measured. The event changes when you touch it, beam it. Yeah. It is basically poking a balloon and being confused as to why it moved. On the quantum scale, observing it as the same as poking. The quantum, I love quantum mechanics. I love the quantum world. There's so many interesting things, theories, ideas that go on in the quantum world that I get told, I'm like, damn, yeah. I mean, it's so either God is eternal or the universe is eternal. I don't believe in God or a God, so I believe the universe is eternal. I believe the universe is infinite. I understand the logic circle you were speaking of. That also implies to simulation theory. Well, simulation theory implies that there is a point of creation, that whenever this much more intelligent entities created the simulation, they created a point of creation. I don't know if we could ever figure that out. If we are a simulation, I don't think we can ever figure these things out unless our creator, our simulation creator, pokes their head out and says, hey, it's me. I made you. Now, in that case, it might be very similar to, the idea of a God, these are all very distinct and different though, right? So someone's perception, someone who is religious, someone who was going to go December 25th, Roman Catholic, is going to go, and they are going to go. I mean, I went only twice to a Roman Catholic church and I was freaked out. It felt like a cult to me. It felt like a cult. I could not believe the ceremony. I was shocked. And 2 of my best friends were there. I'm like, oh my God. Like, Okay, do they know that I'm the one that doesn't believe? Am I the one that's going to get like burned and flogged at the cross up top there? Like, it's like, am I in a movie? That's what it felt like to me. But obviously to the Roman Catholics, it's not. It's part of their faith. Everyone has a perspective based on their belief system, and religion to me is a leap because it requires such amount of blind faith. But Trump number one, baby. Trump number one. I tell you, it's definitely not Joe frickin' Biden. Oh my God. Can we just, look, if you love Trump, that's cool. I mean, the only thing that I worked on Wall Street for a number of years as well. I was a market maker on NYSE and NASDAQ and economic analyst. The only thing, the number one people that the tariffs hurt is a small business. Because when you are importing little knickknacks, this and that, or you have a certain mug that you import from China, those tariffs wiped out small business. Wiped out small business. And I know a lot of them in Los Angeles. It was the nail in the coffin, those tariffs. Because Amazon doesn't care about the tariffs. They'll survive. Costco will survive. Walmart will survive. Target will survive. Kohl's will survive. Little mom and pop in the corner will not survive. When he put those tariffs on, I had 4-letter words and Trump in my language, which I never had before. Doing deals for tariffs for big companies and then taking the tariffs off. Well, how did that help the small person? Tariffs are destroying the small person. It is since 2020, the biggest wealth transfer in the history of this world. Happened when all the small businesses were shut down, but Walmart, it was okay if 1,000 people hung out at Walmart. That was okay. And that wealth transfer is still going on from little mom and pop businesses who can't stay open because those 120% tariffs for 3 months destroyed them. It's only the little person that always gets hurt. The little person always gets hurt. And I'm shocked at Trump that he does not have the emotion to understand that he is devastating small business. Not Walmart. Walmart is a footnote on their balance sheet, on their income statement. It's a footnote. Amazon, hey, more small businesses close or they have to shut down and just put all their stuff for sale on Amazon. So there's my thoughts on Trump. There's no good presidents anymore. It's a 2-party dictatorship. I don't know what. Like, look at Britain. Look at Canada. Look at, Germany. What do you think near-death experience? So I did a video on near-death experience, and the most impactful evidence that was found was there was I forgot the name of the doctor. He was an emergency doctor, and so he heard about a lot of people having a near-death experience when they almost died on the operating table, and they said they floated out of their body, and then he heard this all the time, frequently, and so what he decided to do was he put 2 clocks above the eye level of the operating nurses and doctors, and the 2 clocks were placed that if you floated up, you could not miss the time. There is no way in God's green earth that you could miss the time. And so after that, when he asked people, did you see what time it was? No one saw the time. Nobody saw the time. Not one person did they see the time because they didn't know the clocks were there. That to me, I also did a video on the God helmet. If you see, so the God helmet is basically a guy that you put this helmet on, and he sent magnetic waves into the certain part of the brain that is responsible for the idea of gods and spirituality, and he could recreate the feeling of God by focusing. It's called the God helmet. You guys can look it up. It's called the God helmet. So I don't know. No one's come back. Near death is the operative, right? No one's come back from death. No one will come back from death. There might be some answers in quantum physics that I find compelling to think that there might be something beyond this world, this consciousness. I am philosophical enough to know that I'm not going to be pigeonholed in a pure scientific perspective. There are things in quantum physics that make me go, well, maybe we do pass, and there's something to do with energy. Oh, well, not energy. Energy, the human body is no different than a car. One of my friends says, well, energy cannot be destroyed, or it just changes form. Well, that's true, but a car runs out of gas and it's dead. You have to put more gas into it. The same thing as a human being. If we run out of energy, food, or our body can't process food anymore, we run out of energy and we pass. So you can't use that analogy. Energy just changes forms. We pass because we have no energy left in us, right? The energy completely goes, it dissipates. But I do think that there's some, I need a bunch of computing power, doggy. We all need, I just put 96 gig RAM in my computer. But the one group that helps the most people worldwide, the Catholic Church, I drive by a Catholic church every single day. This thing is massive. This thing is massive. And it is empty every single day while there's people freezing homeless on the streets. But yet they open their doors 12 hours a week. The rest of the day, there's a 50,000 square foot building closed as people lie on the streets. I don't agree with that. I think the Catholic Church is, I'm not even going to get creative. I'm not getting into that one. I'm not. It's the biggest waste of money. You want to help people? Go to a food bank. Really want to help people? Don't give it to the church. Don't. Give it to directly to your community, or people that are literally, that 95% of the money goes to where it's supposed to go, and it's not feeding preacher salaries in a massive freaking building of 50,000. I know where you're saying creative. I get it. I think the heart's in the right place, but the money's not in the right place. Delusion of choice, Zach. Delusion of choice. Delusion of choice. That's an interesting statement in itself. I need a bunch of computing power. Yes, doggy. Yeah, 96 gig RAM. That's what I did. 96 gig RAM. Most religious authorities are heretics. Oh, geez, I was just talking about that. Evolution and creation are co-utilized by reality to facilitate the expansion of the universe. Evolution is a form of automation for creation. Damn, Ginger, you're making me think hard. I don't think I'm not going to disagree. I have no reason to with what you said there. When you watch hundreds of NDEs, you see many commodities in them that nearly all experience, showing some sort of structure, and that the afterlife is plausible. The afterlife is plausible, Mason. I don't write it off. I do not subscribe to the religious. There's no heaven. There's no heaven that is free of entropy, right? There's no state of existence. Entropy, you can't. No, but I hear what you're saying. Yes. Look, I would love to believe in heaven. I would. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? And creation is a natural culminating point of progression and evolution. Creation is a natural culminating point in creation? I don't know about that one. I don't believe in creation. Depends how you define creation. Not in a godly way, no. Creation as the universe creates it? Maybe. The clock example, there are many others that did read the clock per se. For example, a lady saw a red shoe on top of the hospital. They checked after, and I haven't heard about that, Mason. So all of the evidence that I dug into and found, and I've known this for a lot of years, is that no one saw the clock. Everyone that died had a near-death experience, that died and floated on the operating table. No one ever saw the clock. And apparently these clocks, and they showed the clocks. There was actually, you could not miss the clocks. It's like a right hook to the face. Like, boom. I didn't see what that, okay, well, it was pretty conclusive. So, but I don't know what the red shoe thing you're talking about. That I don't know. Too much of our manufacturing was exported to China after we let in the WTO after after 2002, CCP broke WTO. Oh, of course, everything. China, look, China and Russia, they get into a deal, they will smile as they sign it, but they know they're just going out to, because there might be some younger people watching to screw you. Okay, and America is always so dumb enough to believe what. I never trust a man whose first syllable is poo. Putin. Never. I don't trust the Russian government. Ever will. Never will. CCP, you don't trust communists, man. I was born in a communist country. I was born in Brno, Czechoslovakia. Hit the shores of Vancouver when I was 9 months old. We escaped with our lives when the Soviets invaded. So, of course, Ginger, anyone who believes CCP, they sign a deal with them and they think, oh, you got to be as dumb as nails. Dumb as nails. I think the wave collapse could be a memory-saving computing mechanism. No need to store every pixel unless when needed. Yeah. I mean, that's going to the simulation stuff. We'll do one more here, and then 3 hours. This is my longest stream ever. I gotta get ready for tomorrow's stream. I gotta wake up in a few hours. Mason, I'm not religious either, but I've come to believe in a deistic God through logical deduction, and that's fair. I'm not gonna, I'm not going to dissuade you from that. God through logical deduction. I agree with you. Use science and reason to determine what is true. God is a personal belief, personal decision. I will not argue that with, accept it, take it, believe it, own it. I believe in the organization of religion, and then Ginger, one more, man. I need a best friend like you, Zero. Who's Zero? Who is Zero? Did you call me a zero? What's going on? All right, guys, let's call it a night. I'm going to go and I haven't had any dinner yet. But thank you. I think this is like my best stream to date. I really appreciate it. I got my first super chat ever. Disco probably left. I really appreciate that. I wasn't expecting that. So thank you very much. I really appreciate a lot of great people coming. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect when I went live. YouTube is full of so many. I just wanted to do a science show with some humor, who took science seriously, but also took everything else seriously and also with a grain of salt. So hopefully in this crazy, stupid world, Dimension Zero is a place where it's just people can come and give their opinions and their thoughts. Thanks, Creative You too. Ginger, thank you. Thanks, guys. Tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel, 7 o'clock Eastern. And thank you all very much. See you tomorrow.
Do it live!